looks for Deutsch. Deutsch at the one into the end zone. No play action. Now look to pass over the middle. It's intercepted by Cole Hebel. Intercepted by Hebel. Rears back, comes downfield, has Rodriguez. Rodriguez at the 40, to the 50, to the 40. Rodriguez is going to keep going.
All right, Fetting's got room, and here's Bo Fetting. Fetting's still on his feet. Fetting's gone.
Looking to pass, playing off, coming left side, picked up by Cotton. Alex Cotton with the pick, he'll take it back and into the end zone.
Turn and hand the ball off. Will Starkey, he thunders his way. 30, 20, one man to beat. He's got the middle's got a man, that's Friddle. Look out, Friddle, 40, 30, he's loose, 20, 10, touchdowns.
Halsted Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
Following a 36-6 win in the opening round of the North Dakota 9B playoffs over Richland, the Maple River Raiders will look to do something no one has done in 715 days, and that's defeat the LaMoure-Litchville Marion Lobos on the football field. A good Saturday afternoon. I'm Chase Miller alongside on-site producer Jake Watroba, and this is the Irie Insurance pregame show. For more information, go online to IrieINS.com. Maple River played one of its, if not their best games of the season last week over Richland, holding the Colts to just 98 yards of total offense. Senior running back Clay Hovelson tallied 178 total yards and 2 touchdowns, while quarterback T. Silling found older brother Wyatt for 2 receiving touchdowns of 21 and 34 yards. The win earned the Raiders a date with number 1 rated LaMoure-Litchville Marion here in the second round of the North Dakota 9B playoffs. The Lobos have been as advertised so far throughout the year, going a perfect 8-0, earning a bye into the second round and outscoring their competition by an average of 48-7 during the regular season. Only Mayport, CG, and Weimar-Lidgerwood were able to get in the end zone against the Lobos defense. The first win of the 2022 campaign came in Hope against Maple River, while LLM won 50-0, and senior tight end Colton Ness had 5 receptions for 122 yards and 4 touchdowns in the win for the Lobos. This is one of 8 second-round matchups this afternoon across the state as the quarterfinals begin next week. For LaMoure-Litchville Marion, if they continue to win, they'll continue to host on their side of the bracket, and the same can be said for the number 2 seed overall here in 9B in the Holsteins of New Salem-Almont. Coming up on our Irie Insurance pregame show, we'll take a look at the updated playoff bracket as Mayport CG now leads by 2 scores over Weimar-Lidgerwood here on your live event with Joel Morgan. That game currently going on at Jeromeburg Field. We'll get to our keys to victory, and also we'll sit down with both head coaches. Currently overcast skies here in Lemoore. Temperatures in the mid-50s for this contest. When we come back after our break, we'll hear from Larry Fontaine, and then we'll also hear from head coach Annie Delabar for the Lobos. And a reminder, the broadcast of this tournament game has been authorized by special arrangement with the board of directors of the North Dakota High School Activities Association. It's number 1 LaMoure-Litchville Marion, the Lobos, and the Raiders of Maple River. Winner heads to the quarterfinals next Saturday in the 9B playoffs. Our Coach's Corner is next on your live event.
Ziegler Ag Equipment, Highway 9 North Ada, just traded an MT845C Challenger tractor with PTO and a versatile 485 with 900 duals, 12x4 transmission, now new lower priced at $119,900. Ziegler Ag Equipment is your Woods dealer. Visit with Chuck and Neil for Woods mowers. Ziegler Ag Equipment keeps you on the cutting edge of ag technology. Ziegler Ag Equipment, Highway 9 North Ada, 218-784-2961.
In Hope, North Dakota, we aren't just a town, we're a community, one that you can be proud of, where you and your family can grow. With available jobs, affordable housing, a local golf course and pool, the Sportsman Club, and great educational opportunities, there hasn't been a better time to join the Hope community, ideally located between Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. For more information, go to www.hopend.com. Live, work, and play in Hope, North Dakota.
I'm Darian Bitts. I'm confident on and off the field. And when it's time for college, I'm confident Bank of North Dakota will help me make good student loan decisions. Visit bnd.nb.gov/confident.
I'm Trace Tisberg. I'm confident on the stage, and when it's time for college, I'm confident Bank of North Dakota will help me make good student loan decisions. visit bnd.nd.gov/confident.
Goose River Heating and Cooling, Hillsboro, serving the Hillsboro and surrounding communities, ready to provide you with service work to existing and new customers. Whether Corey and the crew installed your heating and cooling system or not, they're ready to assist you with your service concerns. And if it's time to update your heating and cooling systems, whether it's your home, farm shop, a cabin, or office building, give Corey and the crew at Goose River Heating and Cooling a call. 701-430-1990. That's Goose River Heating and Cooling, Hillsboro, serving the Hillsboro area and surrounding communities.
Joining us now in our Coach's Corner is head football coach of the Maple River Raiders. That is Larry Fontaine, as they're traveling to LaMoure today, going up against the LaMoure-Litchville Marion Lobos in the second round of the 9B playoffs. And Larry, for you guys, a really nice, convincing win over Richland last week at home in Hope, 36-6. It just seemed like from start to finish, the guys were ready to play. What did you like in that game that you hope to carry over against the Lobos here this afternoon?
Hey, good morning, Chase. How are you?
Doing well, Coach. Doing well, Larry.
Well, I'm glad. I'm really proud of our boys. Richland is a really good football team. They only gave up 30 points to Mayville, lost 38. They gave up, I don't think, no points to Wymer in the second half. They were a pretty good football team, and we're happy with the way we were able to shut down their run game. We gave up 98 total yards the whole game. I think Wolfkill had one run of 15 yards. That was about it. They had a couple pass completions towards the end, but I thought our defense played really stellar.
You go into a game here, Larry, and it's a second straight playoff game against a regular season opponent. You played Richland in Colfax. You hosted way back in the middle part of August against LaMoure-Litchville Marion for the first game of the season. So from a coaching point of view, is it nice to have that familiarity, or is it okay, they know us, we know them? What changes, the second time around from your point of view?
We're not the same football team that we were the first time we played them. We ran a lot of spread. We're not going to run a lot of spread. We found out the first time we played them that we could run the ball against them. Going into the game, I didn't think we could run the ball against them, but Clay had 20 carries, 80 yards. I thought did pretty well running the ball, so we might just go back to running the ball. And I don't know. I haven't really thought about what we're going to do yet. It's not going to be the same though. Let's find a wrinkle somewhere.
And for you, Larry, going up against LaMoure, whether it's a Colton Ness, maybe it's a Garrett Hebel, a really good player on both sides of the ball. A quarterback does really well in Hanson, and Brady Lettenmeyer as well, just an all-state caliber kind of a running back from last year and this year. I know you're not going to be able to stop everything, just like going up against anybody. You're trying to take something away. So what are you at least trying to take away once Saturday, kicks off here at 1:00?
Yeah. They've got so many weapons. Well, Hebo is their spark plug. 28. He's a go-getter. He hits hard. We talked about it yesterday. He's going to come out and he's going to hit him hard. He's just a dynamic football player. Likes to hit. Likes to, he's vocal. He's a leader, I think, on and off, their field. Offensively, he's hard to stop. Defensively, he's in the middle. He'll be tough to stop. Letmeyer is 16. He wasn't there the first time we played him. So, we got to stop him. And then 85 Ness has killed us for 3 years. So, pick your poison. Coming up with some ideas yesterday, and we'll work on them today. I'm going to watch Mayville's game with LaMoure again and see what Mayville did. What Mayville did against Ness, I thought was pretty good. He only had one catch for 11 yards, but I don't know. We have to have the personnel to keep up with him. It's tough. He's destroyed us for the last 3 years, and we've tried to stop him. He's just sneaky. He gets out, and their quarterback has got, he's decent too.
For you guys, Larry, it just seemed like Wyatt Silling had a really nice performance on Saturday against Richland. 2 catches for over 50 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was in the backfield a lot, whether it was hurries on passes, tackle for losses, or sacks. So, how have you seen him continue to grow here as you get to game number 10 of the season with the senior here, tight end and defensive end in Wyatt Silling?
He's stepping up his game. He's, deceptively fast. He's got great hands. Him and T have probably been playing catch for, I don't know, 11 years. T's 11 and Wyatt's, 17? Or T is 15, I mean. So they're probably throwing a ball when they were 4 and whatever, 6. And they just have that connection. I don't know, look at them, it's a brother connection. Sometimes we think, come on, dude, you don't always have to throw it to your brother. There's other kids open, but his brother is stepping up. He's played a really good game defensively. We challenged him a little bit and told him his brother was going to get 3 sacks. I'm going to get. So I don't know. Maybe that motivated him a little bit, but he stepped up his game, and he's a fun kid to be around. He's got good hands. So we'll see what he can do on Saturday.
Final thing for you, Larry, before you let you go, is this a game where you want to minimize possessions, kind of play keep away in a way where Richland wanted to play keep away from you last week, and then you had that, 10-minute drive to start the game? What is something that Maple River has to do well here against LaMoure-Litchville Marion to try to come out, spring the upset, and get to the quarterfinals?
Well, we have to just score. I mean, they're going to score. So if we can keep the ball and run the ball and keep their offense off the field, because they're going to score. I mean, we're not going to stop them the whole game. It's just not possible. If we can get a couple stops here and there and control the ball and score a couple times, we can win. We're going to go in there with the attitude that we want to play them and that it's a great game, it's a great week, and we're going to do our best. And they're number one, and someone's got to play them. Why not us?
Hey, Coach Fontaine, thanks for everything again throughout this week, and best of luck here against LaMoure-Litchville Marion in the second round of the playoffs.
Roger that. Thanks, Chiefs. Have a great day.
That again, head football coach from Maple River, Larry Fontaine, will continue on our Coach's Corner after this with Andy Delabar for the Lobos. LaMoure Hardware carries your everyday items for plumbing, electrical, automotive, and more. Check out their latest selection of snow and grain shovels alongside Milwaukee tools. Plus, stop by LaMoure Hardware today and browse their sweet pickin' section. You'll see brand new furniture and decor. LaMoure Hardware is your community one-stop shop. For more information on all the services LaMoure Hardware offers, go online to LaMoureHardware.com. That's LaMoureHardware.com.
Harvest is here, and that means we all need to be careful. Hello, this is Bethany Rentz with Irie Insurance. We want to make sure everyone up and down the valley has a safe and successful harvest. Take extra special care in your travels. Slow-moving combines, mud-covered roads, and debris are just a few things during harvest that can be dangerous. So take your time, watch your surroundings, and most of all, be patient and slow down. For more harvest safety tips, go to IrieINS.com.
You're protected and appreciated at Irie.
Irie Insurance is an equal opportunity provider.
Dakota Heritage Bank, serving you with 10 locations across North Dakota and northwestern Minnesota, has a strong background in ag and business lending, but they can also help with auto, recreational, personal, or home loans, including home equity lines of credit. Dakota Heritage Bank is a family-owned community bank where decisions are made locally. Our friendly staff greets you with a smile, takes the time to get to know you, and can help you with your banking needs. Visit us online, dhbanknd.com. Dakota Heritage Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
The friendly staff at LaMoure Drugstore reminds you, from school supplies, greeting cards, or prescription requests, you can find it all at LaMoure Drugstore. They deliver any day of the week upon request and will answer any general health questions you have. Plus, stop in for the annual flu shots. No appointment is necessary. Just stop in and they'll take care of you at LaMoure Drugstore. They're located in the center of LaMoure in the Bank North Mall. For more information, go to LaMoureDrugstore.com. That's LaMoureDrugstore.com. As we continue on our Coach's Corner here today in the second round of the North Dakota 9B football playoffs, joining us now is LaMoure-Litchville Marion head football coach. That is Andy Delabars. They welcome the Maple River Raiders into town. And first and foremost, Andy, congratulations on a region championship in Region 1, also earning a bye and being the number 1 overall seed. I know those are some goals that you probably had coming into this season. Now it's postseason play. So how much did the bye week benefit you, do you think, for your club and a team here as you get ready for Maple River in the second round?
Yeah, it's a big benefit to, for us, I think, and really anyone at this point in the season, just to, take a week off, let the body rest. I think we still practiced, we still worked hard, and I think focused on things that we can look back and reflect on the season. That hey, we got to shore it up here for playoff time, and make sure we can correct the correctables. But yeah, just getting healthy and just staying healthy. Playing a full live game is a lot different than just a week of practice or two. Um, so it was perfect. It was great for us to, like I said, clean up a few things and get ready for this week.
You take a look at Maple River here, Andy. It's been a long time since the middle part of August that you were up in Hope. And also, I'm sure the first game I remember asking you on the pregame show, how much do you look at what was formerly Findlay, Sharon, Hope, Page, or Enderle and Maple Valley as a coaching perspective? I'll ask you this first, how has your opponent in Maple River changed from the season opener to where they're at right now from your eyes?
Yeah, well, I think just individually, their personnel has improved, which is what you want and what you see with good coaching, which we're expecting that. So individually, they're a bunch of better athletes than they were, I think, week one. Just better football players. I know they got a few new guys in new spots, but I think they've earned and owned those positions, and they play hard and they play well. And you look at last week how they I think played a really good game against a team that Richland was starting to come around and I think was playing their best football. Maple River took it to them and they stuck to their guns. They did what they do best and give the ball to their athletes and let them make plays.
For you here, Andy, on the opposite side, I know as much as Colton Ness, Anthony Hansen, the Garrett Hebels of the world, obviously for you have been a stout throughout the year, but is there someone maybe that we didn't mention or an area of your team that maybe has gone a little under the radar, so to speak, to get you guys to where you're at right now?
Well, I think our line play, I think they're always underlooked. But I'd also say a guy like Tate Mart, he's been a guy I think that's been underlooked even since last year, and just him on defense too. He's such a good defender in the secondary, but also on offense. And you know, it's hard to pinpoint one, but I think that's what makes us so good is that whether it's Tate Mart, Gunnar Thielges, Garrett Hebel, Colton Ness. I mean, you spread those four guys out. How are you going to match up? And I know some teams can match up and play man coverage or zone coverage, but we've just been able to spread the ball out so much, and I think that's what makes us such a good team is just the versatility that we have there. But Tate has been a great player for us, and another kid is Brock Wendell on our offensive line, defensive line, and I got to give credit to Sage Gusas too for coming in for an injured White Weight, and Sage just owned his role, and really he'll run through a brick wall for you, and is doing a phenomenal job here for us on the offensive line and defensive line.
How much during this time of the year, Andy? Because 7 of the 8 matchups here across the playoffs are rematches from some point during the regular season. How much, from a coaching point of view, does that help, or does it maybe you go too much into the weeds, so to speak, of what you did the first time around? How do you kind of balance that out here in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think everyone will agree it's tough to play a team twice, and just because whether the outcome from the first game was a big margin of victory or a close one, I think each team can kind of revamp, go back and watch that same film, and see matchups, and see, well, hey, well, here's where we can improve. And so um, yeah, it's tough. I think it's tough. I think it's hard to prepare for sometimes, just because you can think one thing, and now there's a whole new approach that maybe that team takes compared to when we played over 2 months ago. Um, so yeah, it's unique, but we're excited to host playoffs here now, and just take it one week at a time. And first up here is Maple River, and that's all we're focused on. It's just taking it one game at a time. Enjoy playing football here on Saturday, and find ways to get better, find ways to win.
Yeah, unfortunately, the weather looks pretty good for you guys too. Coming up, you don't have to worry about that S-word snow or sub-zero temperatures as well. Sometimes once you get to the playoffs. But final thing for you, Andy, before you let you go, ultimately, from your point of view, what does the Lobos have to do here in your first playoff game to try to get ahead of the sticks, try to get ahead on the scoreboard? I know Maple River never trailed, for example, in their win against Richland on Saturday of last week. So, from your point of view, what does the Lobos have to do well here against the Raiders?
Yeah, I think just continue to be us, focus on what we can do and be better at. Just improve on the things that we've talked the last 2 weeks on. Take care of the football as always, and I think one thing that Maple River does a really good job of is forcing teams to throw the football because they want to stop the run. And for us, we need to be able to again be balanced, run the ball, but also be able to put the ball in the air and execute on offense. Defensively, again, is just to be disciplined. Be disciplined, work on the three things that we focus on, and just be best at that. And our kids know what those three things are, and just how we got to improve and be a better football team come Saturday, but also after Saturday.
Hey, Andy, as always, thanks so much for your time and best of luck here in the second round of the 9B football playoffs.
Thanks, Chase.
LaMoure-Litchville Marion head football coach Andy Delabar with us here on our Coach's Corner. We'll continue and put a wrap on our pregame show after this here on your Live.
Farmers, are you expanding, upgrading, or want to automate? Visit with the experienced staff at Hope Electric to learn about the latest electrical systems and the newest technologies that they have developed to make your operation more efficient. Get a custom system in place with features like iPad truck loading and remote view grain storage, touchscreen controls, hazard monitoring systems, and wireless cellular cameras to protect your assets. Hope Electric, serving the agricultural and commercial industry since 1978. Visit hopeelectric.com or call 701-945-2460.
As we come back here on our Irie Insurance pregame show between the Maple River Raiders and alongside the LaMoure-Litchville Marion Lobos, Chase Miller, Jake Watroba with you here in LaMoure at Towson Field. Thank you very much for tuning in to this broadcast between Maple River and LaMoure-Litchville Marion. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors for providing our coverage, including our pregame show sponsor again in Irie Insurance. Maple River won the coin toss and elected to receive, so the Raiders will be going on offense here. Guards of Connor Dahl and Liam Santrum, and the center of Calvin Santrum. You have tight ends of Wyatt Silling, 2 receptions, 55 yards, and 2 touchdowns against Richland. Stephen Drogan, as well, a 6'1 junior. Winger of Marty Rohrbeck. Dylan Reamer is a fullback. Hovelson, the tailback. Clay, the 5'11 senior, 32 attempts for 174 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then the quarterback, T. Silling, a sophomore at 6'2", 180, 4 of 6 for 62 yards, 2 scores, 0 interceptions, and he had 16 yards on the ground for Maple River. The Raiders 6 wins, 3 losses on the season. The number 2 seed out of Region 2, getting here with a 36-6 win over Richland in the opening round. Head coach is Larry Fontaine. The Raiders average 32 points per game offensively, while defensively they give up 23. We go from the Maple River point of view to the LaMoure-Litchville Marion Lobos point of view here today for LLM. The Lobos 8 wins, 0 losses on the year. Regular season Region 1 champs. Head coach by Andy Delabar. Offensively averaging 48 points per contest. Defensively giving up just 7. And the Lobos won the opening meeting of the season back on August the 19th in Hope, 50-0 against Maple River. Colton Ness, 5 catches, 4 touchdowns for 122 yards, and Hanson, 9 of 13 for 189 and 4 touchdowns here for LaMoure-Litchville Marion. Let's take a look at the starting lineups here for the LaMoure-Litchville Marion Lobos. Tucker Jones, a freshman at the defensive line, also with them. Brock Wendell is going to be up front here. You're going to have Brady Lettenmeyer, Gunnar Thielges, Garrett Hebel, and Brandon Steffes here, the linebackers here for the Lobos, with Lettenmeyer, Thielges, Hebel, and Steffes. Defensive backs of Blaze Isaacson, Tate Mart, and Colton Ness. Mart leads the team with 6 interceptions on the season. Garrett Hebel leads the team with 83 assisted tackles, 31 solo. And you have the leading sack man is Brock Wendell, the defensive line senior, with 14 sacks on the season here for LaMoure-Litchville Marion. That is our Irie Insurance pregame show. Visit Irie Insurance online at irieins.com with locations in Hope, Hillsborough, West Fargo, Mackville, Devils Lake, Towner, your leader in crop insurance, locally owned and independent insurance agency with the best service, best coverage, and best value. Everything from crop and hail and multi-peril, that is with, again, Irie Insurance. It's one of 8 matchups here in the North Dakota 8B football playoffs. The winners go down from 16 teams to 8 to the quarterfinals, eventually going to the Dakota Bowl in November the 11th in Fargo. That does it for our Irie Insurance pregame show. We're back after this with the opening kick and alongside to find out who's going to strike first on our City of Hope scoreboard. It is 9B football playoffs between Maple River and LaMoure-Litchville Marion on your live event.
Hey, what you doing?
Crawling around under my planter trying to figure out if I need any maintenance parts replaced.
It's harvest time, buddy.
Yeah, I know, but the guys at RDK Enterprises keep reminding me to check now, just in case I need something ordered.
What do I look for?
Just give RDK a call and ask some questions. They are the guys I go to for answers.
This is Chris from RDK Enterprises, your local precision planting dealer. We will answer all of your planter questions or come out to your farm and take a look at your planter. Give us a call, 701-636-2119 or planterdoc.com.
Farming today doesn't always feel the same way it used to. Then again, some of it feels all the same. Maybe it isn't so much the jobs that changed, but how they get done. Now that's a different story. Efficiencies are critical, which is why you need a lender who will find the right loan structure for a strong financial future. You need a lender to look out for your whole farm operation. Ag Country.
I'm Carrie Hepper. Rodeo takes confidence. And when it's time for college, I'm confident Bank of North Dakota will help me make good student loan decisions. Visit bnd.nd.gov/confident.
I'm Darian Bitts. I'm confident on and off the field. And when it's time for college, I'm confident Bank of North Dakota will help me make good student loan decisions. Visit bnd.nd.gov/confident.
Triple E Incorporated in Page is cheering on the Raiders. As they compete both on and off the field and on the court, you put in the effort to build a team with trust, experience, and the ability to accomplish your goals. The team at Triple E Incorporated is built the same way, with knowledge and experience that you can trust to get the job done with timeliness and efficiency. For your next non-residential building project, contact Triple E Incorporated, 701-668-2258, or stop by the office in Page. Make your next project a winner with a team from Triple E Incorporated in Page.
As we get ready here for the opening kick between the Maple River Raiders and the LaMoure-Litchville Marion Lobos, Chase Miller, Jake Watroba here with you from Towson Field in LaMoure. Overcast skies, hoping to maybe see that sun come out, but for the most part, can't complain. The field as you see it on your screen, left-hand side on the west, the right-hand side on the east. If you're going west to east, you're going into the wind. If you're going from right to left across your screen, you're going to be playing with the wind at your back. The Maple River Raiders out in their white uniforms with the blue numerals and blue pants. On the opposite side for LaMoure-Litchville Marion out in their all-black uniforms here for the defending state champs, trying to do something that no one has done since 2013 and 2014 in 9-man football, and that's go back-to-back when the Cavalier Tornadoes did it when Brock Robbins was a junior and a senior for the Tornadoes. LaMoure-Litchville Marion will be kicking off at the 40-yard line. High school football, 4 12-minute quarters, goes into the end zone. It's an automatic touchback, but they will be kicking into the wind here for the Lobos. As putting this one on the tee will be Juan Cruz. Back here for the Maple River Raiders will be Hovelson, and with him, Dylan Reamer. Who's going to strike first? Draw first blood. We'll find out here as Cruz, the high end over end that's going to hit a wall of wind. Hovelson comes up and picks it up at the 28-yard line, and he's going to be met there at the 30, and that's where Maple River will start with the football here to begin this contest. So first possession of the game here for the Raiders. We'll start at their own 30-yard line. But one thing, taking a look at the wind early on, if you have a high punt or a high kickoff, it's just going to flutter up there a little bit here this afternoon. Maple River would like to do what they did against Richland a week ago today, an 18-play, 71-yard drive that went 10 minutes and 17 seconds for a touchdown. Wishbone formation here as they'll come out under center. Handoff goes to Hovelson. Hovelson going to get met for about a 2 to maybe a 3-yard gain as they mark him down at the 33-yard line here. As Hovelson able to get the couple of yards there, and we'll make it a 2nd and short upcoming here in this contest. As we'll come out here now for Maple River. 2nd down, they'll mark them at the 32-yard line, so 2 yards there for Hovelson. Back to the wishbone, and Hovelson is going to get maybe a yard. A handful of Lobos coming in, and right off the bat, a pair of Wendells in Brock Wendell. You also had with him in Ryder Wendell, and that's going to be for a gain of 1 yard. So 3rd down and long upcoming here for the Maple River Raiders. On our City of Hope scoreboard, work and play in Hope, North Dakota from job listings and housing options. Search HopeND.com. That's HopeND.com. So 3rd and 7 for Maple River. Now they'll go to the spread. It trips to the right-hand side, 1 to the near sideline here with Silling in the shotgun. Play clock getting down to now 10. Motioning to the right-hand side is Rohrbeck in the gun. Silling, pocket collapses. Thiel just looking to get the sack, throws it off, and that's going to be a tackle for a loss in the backfield. They get it to Hovelson, but that's going to be a loss of 4 yards, if not 5. Gunnar Thiel just came unevaded on the outside, and you saw the speed by the Lobos defense there wreak some havoc and brings up now a 3rd down and make it a 4th down and a 3-and-out upcoming here for head coach Maple River and Larry Fontaine. So now the Raiders will have to come on and punt this ball with Calvin Satrom standing back here for the Lobos. We'll see this one going to be blocked at the 25-yard line and picked up here by Maple River. But LaMoure-Litchville Marion comes up big on defensive and special teams. Brady Lentmeyer coming in for the block punt early on here. That gives the Lobos great starting field position. This will be spotted at the 23-yard line here in positive territory now for the Lobos. First 2 minutes of the game have gone all with the #1 team in the state in LaMoure-Litchville Marion. So we're going to mark that down for an early RDK Enterprises play of the game here by Lettenmeyer with the block punt. So the Lobos will come out here for their first opportunity of the day. And they're going to be knocking already on the red zone. Under center is Anthony Hansen here, the senior quarterback, 6 foot at $175. This one, handoff goes right up the middle to Lettenmeyer. Good job getting the shoestring tackle by Liam Satrom. That goes to the 20 for a gain of 2.
Up by number 7, Liam Satrom, and number 8, Connor Dahl.
Guys up front here, Tucker Jones, the guard, alongside with Ryder Wendell, and the center in Brock Wendell here for LaMoure-Litchville Marion, with tight ends of Colton Ness and Brian Carogard. Wide receiver of Tate Mart, Hebel the fullback, Lettenmeyer the tailback, and Hansen again is under center. Hard count here. Lettenmeyer bounces left-hand side, gets 2 yards, and guess who again? Liam Satrom is there to wrap him up for a tackle for about a gain of 1, maybe 2, depending on the spot. It looks like it's going to be 3rd and a long 7 upcoming. Up front here for the Raiders, Wyatt and T. Silling the ends with defensive tackles of Liam Satrom and Marty Rohrbeck. Linebackers of Reamer, Hovelson, and Dahl, and the secondary of Caleb Dowes and Stephen Drogan here on this Saturday afternoon. I formation again. Play action. Hansen rolls right-hand side into the flat, finds Hebel to the 10. Hebel stiff arms him in at the 5, tries to get into the end zone, and he's going to be short of the pylon, and it looks to be a gain of 18 yards here for the Lobos. Went into the flat there, and all of a sudden you do a little play action on 3rd and 7. You have Hebel, his 14th catch of the season now for 245 yards. Almost got a second receiving touchdown. Hebel, an all-state linebacker from a year ago for head coach Andy Delabar's Lobos. LaMoure-Litchville Marion will come out here, tight formation, dotting the I is Tate Mart. Hebel the fullback, and we have a false start on Carogard here. This would be the first procedure penalty on either team with 8:49 left to play in the first quarter on our City of Hope scoreboard. One thing, talking with head coach Larry Fontaine earlier in the week, said we know that LaMoure-Litchville Marion's a little bit bigger, faster, stronger across the board. Just a matter of trying to sustain offense than defense when we got to get off the field. On the opposite side for the Lobos, Andy Delabar kind of said, keep doing what they've done throughout this season to get them the #1 seed. Lettenmeyer able to barrel roll his way to about the 3-yard line before he's tackled on the play by Connor Dahl. Lettenmeyer now 3 carries for 6 yards on the day. Hansen 1 of 1 for 18 yards. And the Lobos trying to cap off a 23-yard drive with a touchdown. They need 4 more of those yards to this particular point. 2nd and goal coming up here for LLM. As the Lobos will come under center, you can hear the wind going right into their face. Hansen, QB keeper, and he's in for the end zone. And the Lobos strike first here for the first time in the first quarter. With 8:12 left to play in the first quarter, it's a Hansen QB keeper for 3 yards and a score here for LaMoure-Litchville Marion. So the Lobos get in on the first time that they touch the ball with great starting field position as well. Hansen with the QB keeper, and now the Lobos will come out here with an opportunity at the 2-point conversion. Pitch play, this one goes to the outside to Lettenmeyer. Lettenmeyer looks to pick up a block from Hebel, and he walks into the end zone for the 2-point conversion here for LaMoure-Litchville Marion. And a new score on our City of Hope scoreboard. It's the hometown LaMoure-Litchville Marion Lobos 8. The Maple River Raiders scoreless. Raiders got the ball when we come back after this here on your live event.
There's more at 104. Hillsborough, North Dakota has everything you need on your next road trip. Food, fuel, fun, and family-friendly activities. Stop by and fill up your tank or grab a bite to eat. Have a blast at Goose River Golf Club, the swimming pool, or one of our beautiful parks. There's even ice skating and cross-country skiing. Take in the sights or stay the night so you don't miss a thing. Experience Hillsborough and see why there's more at 104.
As we come back here on our City of Hope scoreboard, LaMoure-Litchville Marion faced a 3rd and long, and they hit him the flat and Hebel for 18 yards. Then after a Lettenmeyer 3-yard run, Hansen able to get in from 4 yards for the touchdown. So a 5-play drive to begin the contest here for LaMoure-Litchville Marion after the block punt, short field position, and the Lobos take full advantage. LaMoure-Litchville Marion, their last loss on November the 6th of 2020, losing to Lytton HMB by 8 here at Townsend Field. But since then, they've won 20 straight games, and during that winning streak, they've outscored their opposition 50-5 during that time from last season to this year. So the Lobos, again, showing you the reason why they're the #1 team entering here the postseason. The winner of this contest plays the winner of St. John and Surrey next week. The Woodchucks, the #8 seed. This one a high floater again. Maple River will pick it up, and then it's fumbled at the 30-yard line, and trying to get the ball right away there was Caleb Dowson. Coming in front of Dowson was Dylan Reamer, and for Maple River, very fortunate that they'll get the ball to start here for their second possession at the 31-yard line. So back-to-back drives here for the Raiders, where they've started pretty much right at the 30. And after a couple of Hovelson runs that were unable to muster too much, then a Silling got flushed early by Thiel just for a 4-yard loss after he pitched it to Hovelson. We'll see what the offense is drawn up here. Pitch play goes to Hovelson in space, makes a cut, and Steffes is able to be one of the 2 or 3 Lobos coming in on the tackle with Blaze Isaacson as well. But that's a good pitch play to go to the outside, allow Hovelson to get some room, and then find a way to make a cut, and Hovelson gets 4 yards. But the one thing about this Lobos defense is they are fast and they fly around and they don't miss too many tackles on the year either. For Maple River, they'll come out here 2nd down and 6 as they'll come back to this wishbone formation as T. Silling goes under center. Little fullback trap play that's going on the way here for Rohrbeck, and Rohrbeck pushes the pile forward for about 1 yard, and that's it. Going to keep the defense honest as much as possible. A lot of eyes are to 22. And now for Coach Larry Fontaine, 3rd and 5 upcoming here for the Maple River Raiders. Maple River 3-1 on the road this season. In their 6 wins, they've outscored their opposition 41-9. But in their 3 losses, the opposition has outscored Maple River 51-12. So it's either been a wide margin on one side or the other with this, their 10th game of the season. Shotgun formation, handoff Hovelson. Hovelson has a little bit of a crease, but here comes the Lobos defenders. Making a stop right away was Brock Wendell to stop Hovelson enough. Hovelson able to get to about the 36, maybe 37-yard line, so he does get a little bit. And now decision time for head coach Larry Fontaine. If you come out and you want to punt the ball again, and they will with Calvin Satcham. So trying to play field position here where the wind is at the Raiders' back, but back-to-back 3-and-outs. High snap, Satcham gets this one off. A spiraling kick that goes away from Tate Martin. Martin has to go all the way back to the 11-yard line. Picks up a block there, gets by Hovelson, now to the 20, to the outside mark with a little shake and bake here for Tate, and Tate then gets hit at the 25. So a really good pump by Maple River, first and foremost, to flip the field. But back-to-back 3-and-outs now here for the Raiders. And LaMoure-Litchville Marion will start with the football here in their own territory. And they'll have to go the length of the field as they'll come out here. LaMoure-Litchville Marion coming into today averaging 378 yards of offense, 190 on the ground and 188 through the air. Very balanced here for head coach Andy Delabar. As this will come out here for the Lobos, shotgun formation, high snap, handoff. This one going to be bounced to the outside here for LaMoure-Litchville Marion, and the Lobos able to break the tackle a little bit there for Garrett Hebel. Hebel got close to the 30-yard line to the 29 on a play that looked like it was going to go nowhere. Hebel keeps the legs turning and able to move his way for a gain of about a couple of yards, make it 4. So Hebel with his first rush of the day so far, 22 yards of total offense here. Makes it second down and manageable for the Lobos as Lettenmeyer, the lone man in the backfield here. Pitch play goes to Brady. Lettenmeyer gets to the boundary here at the 30-yard line and knifes forward close to the first. I'll mark him at the 35. And that'll be shy of the first down, but just shy of the first down for a gain of 5. Lettenmeyer 4 carries now for 11 yards coming in. Lettenmeyer, first-team All-Stater from a season ago, 12 rushing touchdowns on the year, 605 yards of offense rushing. Hansen, over 1,000 yards passing, very efficient, 52 of 69 coming into the game with 16 touchdowns. I formation here, twins to the left-hand side, 4-down lineman, handoff goes to Lettenmeyer right up Broadway, and Lettenmeyer gets stuffed by Reamer. Also in there was Hovelson to help out and make the tackle, but not before a couple more yards coming here for Lettenmeyer to the 38-yard line for a gain of 4. 5 carries now for 15 yards. The guys up front here for LaMoure-Litchville Marion, Brock Wendell, a center senior at 5'10", 195. Ryder Wendell, the 5'11", guard, a junior at 175 as well. And then on the outside here today is Tucker Jones, the freshman at 5'10", 170. They're hoping to get Wyatt Waite back potentially next week here on the line for the Lobos. Hansen, pocket, clean one, throws it down the field. That's going to be incomplete to Gunnar Thielgis. The ball fluttered a little bit there. Really good defense on the back end here by Marty Rohrbeck to bat the ball down and get it out of Thielgis' hands, but going through the wind, that would have been about a 20-yard completion by Anthony Hansen. Instead, it's an incomplete pass, and now a 2nd and 10. So the Lobos take a shot going into the wind here as we're past the midway point of quarter number 1. Hebel at the fullback spot as you're going to have 7 men right at the line of scrimmage here for Maple River trying to defend the run, and they do perfectly as Lettenmeyer gets tripped up, and getting some leverage there was Connor Dahl as he comes in on the right-hand side, and that'll be for a tackle right back at the line of scrimmage. So if you're Maple River, punt the football away, try to get some good field position, and hope that you get a punting situation from LaMoure-Litchville Marion. The Lobos take a shot, run with Lettenmeyer, now a 3rd and 10. But this Lobos offense here, 3rd and 10 for head coach Andy Delabar. Where will they go? Outside goes Tate Mart, has 20 receptions on the season for 348 yards, goes one-on-one. Maple River will have a timeout on the 4. We'll break as well. This timeout brought to you in part by our friends at Bank North. It's a Bank North timeout here at Townsend Field on your live event.
Farmers, are you expanding, upgrading, or want to automate? Visit with the experienced staff at Hope Electric to learn about the latest electrical systems and the newest technologies that they have developed to make your operation more efficient. Get a custom system in place with features like iPad truck loading and remote view grain storage, touchscreen controls, hazard monitoring systems, and wireless cellular cameras to protect your assets. Hope Electric, serving the agricultural and commercial industry since 1978. Visit hopeelectric.com or call 701-945-2460.
Timeout brought to you in part by our friends at Bank North. They offer the traditional and advanced products and services that keep you grounded and ahead of the curve in today's fast-paced world. For more information, visit ibanknorth.com or stop by one of their locations today in Buffalo, LaMoure, or Marion to better serve you. So after the timeout by head coach Andy Delabar, LaMoure-Litchville Marion will have 2 remaining here in this first half. This one going to be a play-action pass here and getting stripped right off the bat. Is it a fumble? If it is, Hovelson could have picked it up, but they're going to say incomplete. Marty Rohrbeck put the pressure there on Anthony Hansen. Fortunately for the Lobos, if that was a fumble, Hovelson would have had an easy walk-in fumble recovery for 35 yards, but instead it's an incomplete pass. And for the Raiders, able to put some pressure on there with Marty Rohrbeck again coming in on the outside and able to hit the hand of Hansen right when he threw the football. And if that would have been a fumble again, Hovelson was able to pick it up and try to go the other way. Now for LaMoure-Litchville Marion, they will come out here. Their kicker is Anthony Hansen, handing the punt position here. So it could very well be a punt, but we'll see if it's 4th and 10. They're going to go for it instead of a punt. Hansen winds, delivers, goes to Mart down the field, and Mart's to the 30, to the 20, Mart to the 10, and Mart walks into the end zone for a 62-yard touchdown strike here for LaMoure-Litchville Marion. 4th and 10, and the Lobos go for it, and they find Pater or Tate Mart with 3:27 left to play here in the opening quarter. And that could be an early backbreaker. You get it to 3rd and 10. You played so well defensively for the Raiders, but LaMoure-Litchville Marion spreads you out, and they hit it for 62 yards. Hansen to Mart for the touchdown. 2-point conversion upcoming. That's Smart's 3rd receiving touchdown of the season. Lettenmeyer in the backfield by himself. Handoff goes to the aforementioned Lettenmeyer. Walks in for the 2-point conversion and a new score on our City of Hope scoreboard with 3:27 left to play in the opening quarter. It's the Lobos 16, Maple River scoreless. We're back with kickoff after this here on your live event. LaMoure Hardware carries your everyday items for plumbing, electrical, automotive, and more. Check out their latest selection of snow and grain shovels alongside Milwaukee tools. Plus, stop by LaMoure Hardware today and browse their sweet pickin' section. You'll see brand new furniture and decor. LaMoure Hardware is your community one-stop shop. For more information on all the services LaMoure Hardware offers, go online to LaMoureHardware.com. That's LaMoureHardware.com. As we come back here on your live event, Hansen goes 1 of 3 on the drive, but the one was for 62 yards and a touchdown. Lettenmeyer able to get a couple of rushes, and you add in a Hebel rush as well, and all of a sudden a 4th and 10 that would have flipped the field. If they don't get that first down, it would have been 1st and 10 Maple River in Lobo territory. Instead, they went one-on-one on the outside. Mark got by his man, and Tate put on the afterburners here at Townsend Field as the Lobos now lead it 16-0 over Maple River. It's 9B playoff football here on your live event in North Dakota. Make sure you go to yourliveevent.com. The games are free to watch, and then you can rewatch them on demand as well. In case you missed any of our coverage throughout the week, go to yourliveevent.com to check out more games throughout the Red River Valley. Today, Lisbon at Hillsborough Central Valley. Also, up in Mayville, Mayport CG, Weimar-Lidgewood on your live event. All Patriots in the first half. Mayport CG 28, Weimar-Lidgewood, the Warbirds 6. Here's a high kick again that's going to bounce, and it's going to be a live ball. Hovelson picks it up right at the 30, and it just feels like that's where the Raiders like to start with the football, back at the 30-yard line for their 3rd drive of the game. A block punt and then a punt here for Maple River on the opposite side for the Lobos. A touchdown and a touchdown. Nice drive for the Lobos. Just took just over 3.5 minutes. And now for the Raiders. This is not the position they wanted to be in against LaMoure-Litchville Marion. One thing Coach Fontaine said in our pregame show, you're going to have to find a way to score against LaMoure-Litchville Marion. Better run of the day here for Hovelson, as that's able to get to the 36-yard line for a gain of 5. Hovelson now 5 carries for 13 yards. But one thing Coach Fontaine said is, the Lobos are going to score. There's no question about that. It's a matter of, can you match a score for a score enough and be there later in the game. When we were talking to him earlier this week, because he goes, they have speed, they got size. They're just a team that, going through a really good couple of years here for the Lobos. They'll come out with that wishbone formation again. The fullback is going to be Marty Rohrbeck this time. This one going to be a handoff to Reamer, and Reamer breaks out of a tackle of Hebel, and then bringing him down is going to be Brock Wendell to the 36-yard line for about a gain of 1. So fortunate there for Reamer to break out of a tackle of a really good linebacker in Hebel, who doesn't miss those too often through the gap. But now all of a sudden, for head coach Larry Fontaine, you get to a 3rd and short situation. This very much might be 4-down territory upcoming here for the Raiders. Steven Drogan lines up on the outside, on the near sideline here. Twins to the right in the slot is Reamer. The Lobos 4 men at the line. We'll see if they bring some pressure. Motion man coming across is Reamer. This one on the Wildcat goes to Hovelson, and Hovelson gets met up at the 35-yard line by guess who? Garrett Hebel in on the tackle. And this is actually going to be a loss of a yard here for Hovelson as they went to the Wildcat that time. And the one thing with the speed by the Lobos, if you're unable to go north to south, and you got to go side to side, they're going to fly their way and make those tackle for losses, as we saw there by Hebel. Punt upcoming here with Calvin Santrum, as Mart is back at the 25. Santrum did a really nice punt his last time. This one, Santrum bobbles it. Now he's going to have to try to get the ball off, but can't, and he's going to get thrown out of bounds at about the 27-yard line, and that'll be a loss of 8 yards there for Santrum. Unfortunate there with the snap, as that was just going nowhere. And so LaMoure-Litchville Marion, for the second time here in the quarter, will start in Raider territory. So it'll go as a turnover on downs, and LaMoure-Litchville Marion will have their 3rd drive of the game here with 1:16 left to play in the first quarter, and a chance to have an early knockout punch here in quarter number 1. Hansen keeping it, and Hansen gets to about the 24-yard line for a gain of 3 here for the Lobos. Hansen 2 carries now for 7 yards, as they'll come out here 2nd and long upcoming for LaMoure-Litchville Marion. Hansen so far today 2 of 4 passing for 80 yards, has hit Hebel for 18 and Tate Mart for 62. Lobos will come out with Martin near sideline here. Shotgun formation. High snap. Hansen will handle it. Hansen gets tripped up just shy of the 20-yard line at the 21. Coming in will be Reamer with the tackle, but 4 yards here for Hansen. 3 carries now for 11 yards. Makes it 3rd and short upcoming. State cross country yesterday in Jamestown for the Class B. Class A is today. Bowman County won on the boys' side. Rugby won on the girls' side. Saw some Lobos and Raiders out there as well for their respective teams. Shotgun. Hansen moves the pocket, finds and delivers, and that's going to be to Colton Ness for the first down. Dowse is there on the tackle, but not before they get to the 15 for a gain of 6. Colton Ness with his first catch of the afternoon, and that could very well end quarter number 1 here on our City of Hope scoreboard. That'll do it. LaMoure-Litchville Marion 16, Maple River scoreless. Be 1st and 10 from the Raider 15-yard line after 12 minutes on our City of Hope scoreboard. The Lobos lead it by 16.
Honesty, loyalty, integrity. At Bank North, we've remained true to these values for generations. They shape the way we do business, work with customers, and support our communities. We've been here for more than a century, helping people grow farms and businesses, finance homes, and pursue their dreams. It's values-based banking, and it's all about working together to strengthen the common threads that bind us together. Bank North, always true.
The Maple Valley School District is moving forward with the plan to build a new pre-K classroom, community fitness center, and gymnasium with locker rooms. The classroom will provide more space for a growing pre-K program. The fitness center will provide opportunities to benefit all Maple Valley communities, and the gym will allow more opportunities for all activities of the Maple River Co-op. Plus, the plan is to build with no new taxes. Contact the business manager to see how you can help make this a reality today at 701-749-2570.
As we continue here, going to the second quarter, Anthony Hansen 3 of 5 through the air so far for 86 yards for LaMoure-Litchville Marion. Coming up on our halftime show, we'll take a look at the first half numbers, also the scoring plays and your out-of-town scoreboard. That's all still to come on our halftime show. But right now the Lobos marching and knocking on the door, taking advantage of short field position one more time here with a 1st and 10. Upcoming ball spotted at the far hash. Towson Field in the spring used for baseball, and the fall used for football. Little pitch play goes out to Lettenmeyer, picks up a block, and Lettenmeyer walks into the end zone for a touchdown, but hold the phone. We might have a block in the back at the 12-yard line. Would be a touchdown run of 15 yards, but I believe the wide receiver on the outside got enough with the block in the back. That'll be the second penalty, spot foul. It will be 1st down, but now if you're the Raiders defense, a chance to make a stop and try to get off the field without giving up any points here to start this second quarter. Reminder, LaMoure-Litchville Marion will start with the football to begin the second half of play. So they go to the 23-yard line. I'm going to say that the second penalty of the game here with the block in the back for LaMoure-Litchville Marion. Tate Mark goes to the outside as they'll go double tight for the Lobos as Hansen goes under center, and now Coach Fontaine might want to take a timeout. We'll break with him. This timeout brought to you in part by our friends at Bank North here at Towson Field. It's LaMoure-Litchville Marion 16, the Raiders scoreless. Back after this here on your live event.
The Maple Valley Parents Organization is an organization whose main purpose is to support all Maple Valley student activities and to promote a healthy environment and attitudes for the youth. Their aim is to encourage growth and interest in these areas by supporting them in a sportsmanlike manner. The Maple Valley Parents Organization is open to anyone. If you'd like to become a member or see upcoming events, like their Facebook page by searching Maple Valley Parents Organization on Facebook.
That's a Bank North scoreboard timeout again. Bank North, check them out at visit ibanknorth.com. As we come back here, Chase Miller, Jake Quattroba with you from LaMoure. Well, it's a gorgeous afternoon. Outside of the wind, can't complain too much for late October. Hansen winds, and that's going to be incomplete. Tate Mart was running a post pattern there. I don't see any flags as Mart wanted a little bit of a maybe tripping, but inadvertent there with Marty Rohrbeck, and that'll make it 2nd down and long. So if you're Maple River here, if you can get a stand, then all of a sudden it's still a 2-possession game, then got to get something going offensively. But offensively, so far today, Hovelson 6 carries for 12 yards. Then you have Rohrbeck for 1, Reamer for 1, and Satcham with that -8 yards after the muffed punt. So they just haven't been able to get anything going on the ground here yet today for the Raiders. Shotgun formation, high snap, the ball is free. Hansen picks it back up, evades a sack, and then he gets met back at the 30-yard line for a loss of 7 by number 7. Liam Satcham comes in for the tackle for loss. High snap, we've said that a handful of times from the center here today for the Lobos, and that time it actually does get over his head there. Brock Wendell, we've seen it pretty much at the eyes or a little bit over the head at particular times. And now all of a sudden, it's going to be 3rd and long. I know it says 3rd and 65 on the scoreboard, now to 3rd and 25. But if you're the Lobos here, try to get 10 yards, get a little bit closer to what you need, and that's the 5-yard line here because you're going to have 2 downs to work with it. Hansen, shotgun, fires. That's going to be hit and popped and dropped. Marty Rohrbeck hits it out of the hands of Tate Mart at about the 22-yard line. And that's going to be incomplete here. So 4th down upcoming for the Lobos. Good job by Rohrbeck coming in there and delivering the hit there to Tate Mart. Mart just running a little bit of a hitch pattern there for about 8 to 9 yards. Andy Delabar not happy on the far sideline talking with one of our officials. And so it's going to be 4th down upcoming here for the Lobos. They don't need to get in the end zone, but they need to get close to the Raider 5-yard line. Shotgun for Hansen. The Raiders bringing some pressure. Hansen goes down the field looking for Colton Ness. Incomplete. No one bumped into him. No flags, and it will be a turnover on downs. So the third drive, a turnover on downs here. And that'll be a really big stop here because where the ball was to begin with that drive as well. So for the Raiders, that's a win in their book. This will be their fourth drive of the game for Maple River. But now, can they crack the defense that is LaMoure-Litchville Marion here in this second quarter? As Maple River will come out here with one wide receiver to the left-hand side. They'll go more now to the I formation with Clay Hovelson dotting the I. Pitch play goes out to Hovelson, looks for a block, gets one for a moment, then getting wrapped up by Brock Wendell, the senior defensive lineman. Leads the team in sacks this season with 16, able to get about 2 yards on the rush. If you're Maple River, T. Silling's going to have to find someone in the secondary, but the Lobos got speed and burners to boot as the sun is making its way out here for the first time today through some of the clouds. Saw some hunters in the field and saw some that were getting ready to go out once we got into LaMoure earlier this morning. I formation yet again here for Maple River. The Lobos will have 4 at the line. Handoff Hovelson, little stretch play to the outside. Hovelson keeps the pile turning. Colton Ness, one of the Lobos, to bring him down as Clay Hovelson passed the 35 to about the 36 for a gain of 4. One thing that Andy Delabar mentioned when we were talking earlier this week, saying, hey, you know, Clay Hovelson does a good job with his motor, continues to work and get a little bit better every day. From his point of view of what he saw from this team back in August to where we are now in October. But a third down upcoming, and if you're the Raiders, you want to at least get 2 or 3 yards. If you can do that, 4th and short will be coming as the wind is now in your face. Handoff, this goes to Hovelson. Hovelson gets to the 40-yard line, stretches for the first down here for Maple River for a gain of 7. Colton Ness, part of the party there to try to bring him down alongside with Brady Lettenmeyer. And this is what Maple River needs to do offensively. You're going to get 4 yards here, 5 yards there, move the clock, minimize the possessions as best as possible. It's just, can you sustain a 14-play, a 12-play drive? That's always the question at any level of football once you get to play 8, 9, 10 in a particular drive. 1st and 10, play action, trying to go to the field. Silling has all day to throw, now throws it up, and that one's going to be incomplete at the 45-yard line. Hebel there on the coverage as the intended receiver was for Rohrbeck, and that'll be a 2nd and 10 upcoming. You were wondering when the play action was going to come out, just for the simple fact of you've seen Hovelson a lot so far, and the Lobos did not bite. They did a really good job on the back end of the secondary, whether it was Mart, Ness. You also had Hebel there alongside with him in the backfield. You had Blaze Isaacson, the junior. Everybody was blanketed with the 3 personnel that were out into the secondary here for Maple River. So now 2nd and 10 upcoming. Motion man going right to left is Reamer. As the Lobos here, we'll see a pitch play going out to Hovelson, and Hovelson gets to about the 45-yard line for a gain of 3. 10 carries for now 28 yards here. As Hovelson, the leading stat man throughout the season here for Maple River, 174 yards, 2 scores against Richland last week in Hope. So 3rd and 7 for the Raiders. They will need the Lobo 48-yard line for the first. Wishbone formation yet again under center is T. See if they go play action or give it back to number 22. They hand it off to number 22. Hovelson gets met in the backfield and then gets back to line, and that's about it. Maybe to the 46, and they'll mark him down at the 45-yard line. Good job by Braden Steffes, the outside linebacker, coming in there to first and foremost make a stop, but also to bring him back inside there on that play that went to the boundary. And now for Coach Larry Fontaine, not going to bring the punting unit out going into the wind. He's going to send T. Silling out here. Might we see a hard count upcoming? Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining. And what has been a quick-paced first half here at Towson Field with 7:27 left in the first half on our City of Hope scoreboard. Under center goes Silling. Silling, handoff goes to Hovelson. Hovelson gets tripped up to about the 49-yard line. Won't be enough, and they'll mark him there. So a gain of 5. If he's able to get over that potential tackle, it could have been a first down. Instead, it's a turnover on downs. 12 carries, now for 33 yards. So the Raiders went for it, unable to get there. Give LaMoure-Litchville Marion's defense credit, as the Lobos now will have their 4th possession of the game right at midfield, and a chance to double dip here in this first half when they get the ball to start the second half. Lettenmeyer gets to the boundary here. Lettenmeyer to the 45, hop steps a man to the 40, and Rohrbeck brings him down to the 37-yard line for a gain of 13 yards. Lettenmeyer now 17, make it 7 carries on the afternoon for a gain of 28. This end of the bracket, it's either the St. John Woodchucks or the Surrey Mustangs. With this score holds, would come to LaMoure next week. Also some other games going on later today at 2 o'clock is New Salem Almont against Henniger County. North Prairie, the 3 seed against North Border, and number 6 seed Divide County against West Hope Newburgh-Glenberg. Divide County won their first matchup with the Sioux 52-6. This one goes to Lettenmeyer, missed tackle by Trader, and then Lettenmeyer bruises and bumbles his way past the 30 to the 29-yard line. A gain of 8 here for Lettenmeyer. Carries now for 36 yards. Hansen 4 for 4, and Hebel 1 of 4. Through the air, Hansen is 3 of 8 for 86 yards and a touchdown. The biggest play from scrimmage so far on a 4th and 10 at their own 32-yard line. Hansen hit Tate Mart for a 62-yard touchdown right down the near sideline for the score. Clock continues to wind here as they'll have a new player coming in for Coach Delabar. We'll see if they're able to get all 9 guys quickly situated, or might he need to take his second timeout. Hansen goes under center here. Everyone looks all right. Lettenmeyer gets the boundary to the 25-yard line, breaks a tackle 20 into the red zone, and he gets taken down to the 16-yard line for a gain of 13. Lettenmeyer continues to have a hard charge about him here, and that's the one thing. You keep getting hits by Hebel. You keep getting a window every now and then from a lineman, and all of a sudden Lettenmeyer comes right there, and that's a big bruiser to try to wrap up for a tackle here in open space in LaMoure. So the Lobos got to this point in the last drive, but then they had a block in the back, an eventual 7-yard tackle for a lost stub their own toe. This time they're looking for pay dirt. 1st and 10, handoff stretch play, Lettenmeyer. Lettenmeyer gets to the 10-yard line before he's tackled there by Wyatt Silling, and this will be for a gain of 6 yards. Wyatt Silling had a really nice game last week against the Richland Colts, able to get a couple tackles for losses, a sack, and then had the 2 receiving touchdowns from his younger brother, T, as well. LaMoure-Litchville Marion, though, right now, knocking on the door here with a 2nd and short from the 9-yard line. We'll see if they give it back to Lettenmeyer's. He will actually take a play off at this particular juncture with Tate Mart in the backfield. Mart looks to break to the boundary. He does, and while the aforementioned Silling able to make the tackle on that play, as Tate Mart has some speed, and if he can get to the numbers and bounce it to the outside, it can be very difficult to make a tackle. But Wyatt Silling able to come up and wrap him down, and the ball be spotted at the 7-yard line. So a gain of 2 for Tate Mart makes it 3rd down and short upcoming for the Lobos. Mart again dots the eye. Hansen under center. QB keeper here for Hansen, and Hebel gives him a push forward. And they'll be past the 5-yard line to about the 4. That's enough for the first down here for Hansen on his 5th carry of the afternoon. LaMoure-Litchville Marion, this is their 9th game of the season. They played 7 during the regular season. Their game with Tri-State was a forfeit, so they were able to earn a bye last week, get a little rest, do some self-scout, and get ready for this contest here against the Raiders. So 1st and goal upcoming, ball spotted at the 4-yard line for LaMoure-Litchville Marion. Hansen, handoff. This one goes to Lettenmeyer, who walks in for the touchdown here for LaMoure-Litchville Marion. This is Lettenmeyer's 2nd rushing touchdown of the afternoon, both from 4 yards out. 11 carries now for 59 yards and 2 scores, and the Lobos have broken this game up to a 3-possession lead late in half number 1. So Lettenmeyer gets in for the rushing touchdown. The second rushing touchdown here for the Lobos. The first was by the quarterback and Anthony Hansen. And we do have a flag, might have too many men on the field breaking the huddle here for the Lobos. And that's exactly what we're going to have. So their third penalty of the day. Neither team has a turnover, but Marion Lettenmeyer had a block punt earlier in the game, which set up LaMoure-Litchville Marion with really good field position. Hansen capped it off after a 5-play drive that was able to go 23 yards for a score in the first quarter. Shotgun formation now for Hansen. Hansen rolls the pocket, right-hand side, goes in, and that's going to be incomplete. Intended receiver was Mart at the goal line, and new score on our City of Hope scoreboard. It's LaMoure-Litchville Marion, the Lobos, the number 1 seed in the 9B playoffs, 22. The Maple River Raiders scoreless, and Maple River will get the ball when we come back on your live event.
Farming today doesn't always feel the same way it used to. Then again, some of it feels all the same. Maybe it isn't so much the jobs that changed, but how they get done. Now that's a different story. Efficiencies are critical, which is why you need a lender who will find the right loan structure for a strong financial future. You need a lender to look out for your whole farm operation. Ag Country.
4 possessions for LaMoure-Litchville Marion, a touchdown, turnover on downs, and a touchdown for Maple River in their 4 possessions, a block punt, a punt, turnover on downs, and turnover on downs here for Maple River. LaMoure-Litchville Marion will put this one on the tee. As the Lobos with Juan Cruz will kick off now with the wind at his back. LaMoure-Litchville Marion 16 points in the first quarter. So far here, 6 points in the second quarter. It's the North Dakota 9B football playoffs on your live event. The Lobos won their first state title last season since 1991 for LaMoure-Litchville Marion. Tornadoes of Cavalier have lost the last couple. 42-14 win for the Lobos over the aforementioned Cavalier Tornadoes last year. This one goes all the way back into the end zone here for Hovelson. It's going to be a touchback here for Maple River. Cool story for the Lobos. Garrett Hebel's dad, Matt, an assistant coach, won a state title with LaMoure back in 1991 as well. So you had 30 years later, father and son got to share a title this time. The father as an assistant coach instead of a player when he was 30 years ago. So that's a really cool story from the Lobos again last year. So for LaMoure-Litchville Marion, they will come out and see that the Raiders will start at their own 20-yard line here. If you're a Maple River, you want to at least keep the ball away from the Lobos to have another chance to get in the end zone. But you want to put a drive together. But Hovelson just getting met, and then Brock Wendell has had a really nice game on the interior. It's been him, it's been Hebel that we've seen a lot defensively here as it goes from one hash mark to the other after the pitch play, and Hovelson unable to muster much there as it's going to be 2nd and 10. Can't say enough about a defensive lineman. As much as you're going north to south sometimes and putting pressure on a quarterback, but able to go east to west and get those wrap up for losses or those tackles right at the line of scrimmage. Wishbone formation again here for the Raiders. Selling, handoff, goes to Hovelson, left-hand side, and the Lobos build the wall, and the Lobos bring Hovelson down. And there's going to be Hebel in on the tackle, also in with him. You're going to have Ryder Wendell as well. So 3rd and long upcoming here for Maple River. LaMoure-Litchville Marion with 2 timeouts. You also have Maple River with 2 timeouts as well. And Coach Larry Fontaine's going to take one of those timeouts, brought to you in part by our friends at Bank North. This is Bank North's scoreboard timeout here on your live event.
We've been around long enough to know that research in the lab reaps rewards in the field. At the Cess van der Haaf Innovation Center, we're working to develop sugar beet varieties that thrive despite the pressures from disease and the challenges of nature. We're dedicated to improving what we produce, so you can be too. Contact your local Cess van der Haaf dealer to learn about our varieties suited for your soils, because sharing the pride of success starts with sharing the passion to achieve it. Cess van der Haaf, a passion that grows.
Bank North timeout here. Bank North, from farming and ranching, business and consumer banking and lending. You'll always be headed in the right direction with Bank North. Check out one of their locations today in Buffalo, LaMoure, or Marion. Chase Miller and Jake Watroba with you here. 3rd and 10, and where's head coach Larry Fontaine go here with 2:48 left to play in the first half, as Maple River will need their own 30-yard line for the first. The Raiders, the farthest they've gone after a turnover on downs by a Hovelson run on 4th and 7. They've gotten to the 50, but they haven't been able to get past midfield here today. Shotgun formation for Silling, as the Lobos, they will bring 4. Silling winds up. This one floats in the air to Wyatt Silling. That's going to be picked off by the Lobos at the 44-yard line. Tate Mart able to come up with the INT, and the first turnover of the game goes against Maple River. Tough one there if you're throwing into the wind. You're just trying to give your brother and Wyatt, if you're T there, a chance at that one. But as that one hit the wall of wind a little bit, started to flutter and gave the defensive back, Tate Mart, a little bit better position there to come down with that one. Regardless, it is about a net of 24 yards that results almost like a punt in a roundabout way. But LaMoure-Litchville Marion does get an opportunity here one more time before we get to the half. This will be with really good starting field position at the Raider 44-yard line. Pitch play goes to Lettenmeyer. Lettenmeyer cuts it back in. Give credit to T there for cutting that run back in. Hovelson and Reamer on the tackle, and Lettenmeyer able to get about a yard on the rush. Lettenmeyer now 12 carries for 60 yards and a score here today in LaMoure, as the Lobos won their opener of the season in Hope earlier this year by a count of 50-0. The good news from that day to this day, we had a 40-minute lightning delay in Hope in that one, hoping we don't have to worry about that here with 2 minutes left to play in the opening half. 2 wide receivers. Tate Mart motions to the near sideline here for the Lobos. Handoff is going to go to Lettenmeyer, and Lettenmeyer gets met by Hovelson, and he brings Hovelson past the first down to the 35 to about the 33. Steven Drogan also in on the assisted tackle there, and that's going to go for a gain of 11. 13 carries for 73 yards for Lettenmeyer here, as Brady on the season and the Lobos would like to have a game today, a game tomorrow, next Saturday, a game the Saturday after that, then finally get to the Fargo. They would like to have 3 more contests like they did last season en route to the Dome. Hansen goes down the middle of the field wide open. His field just incomplete at the 5-yard line. That would have been a 33-yard walk-in touchdown. Instead, it's going to be incomplete, and the clock stops with 99 seconds left to play in the first half. Tough one there if you're LaMoure-Litchville Marion, able to get Gunnar Thiel just out where no one was covering him. The ball just a little bit too far out in front. For Maple River, you kind of take your brow and you take some sweat off and you go, whew, able to still have a 3-possession game, but the Lobos trying to get it up to 4 here with a touchdown. 2 wide receivers either side. You have Thielgis and Colton Ness in the slot. Hansen clutches, looks for Ness, incomplete as that goes up the first base dugout there at the 5-yard line. 6 seconds come off the clock here, and Anthony Hansen now is 3 of 10 through the air for 86 yards in a touchdown. The wind, we've seen a little bit of gusts come through here and there at particular times, but nothing unbearable by any means, but you will have to manage it a little bit. The Lobos with the wind at their back right now, and they'll come out with both Mart and Ness to the right-hand side here for the Lobos. Maple River showing pressure. They're going to bring 4. QB keeper then on the delayed drop by Hansen. Hansen gets to about the 15. Whether that was called or not, Hansen saw that it was coming with the pressure and said, I'm not taking any steps back. I'm going forward, and gets 17 yards for the first down. Smart play by Hansen as they brought up the gap, the middle linebacker, and Hebel able to get enough of him. And then Hansen took care of the rest as the Lobos are back in the red zone here at the Raider 14-yard line. Shotgun formation here for LLM. Clean snap. Hansen has some time, looks down the field. That's going to be incomplete. As looking into the end zone for Thielgis, and give some credit there for Maple River, able to have the coverage there in Dylan Reamer. The Lobos with 2 timeouts remaining, so the playbook is wide open here with just over a minute left to play. If you want to keep it on the ground, by all means you can. The Raiders will have to kick off in the second half to LaMoure-Litchville Marion in a game that started right on time here at 1 o'clock in LaMoure. One wide receiver in Martin. We have a timeout on the field. This timeout brought to you in part by Bank North, and the timeout will be with LaMoure-Litchville Marion. We'll keep it here with 66 seconds left to play here on your live event. Timeout again brought to you in part by Bank North. Still to come on our halftime show, take a look at your out-of-town scoreboard across the state in 11B and 9B playoff football going on today, the opening round of 11B. A week from now, you'll have the quarterfinals, and next Friday, will be the quarterfinals in 11A and 11AA. In 11A, Fargo South, the Bruins, the #1 overall seeded team. And then in 11AA, it's West Fargo Cheyenne, the Mustangs, last year's state champ, the #1 overall seeded team. So we'll take a look at those brackets, that and more to come here on our halftime show on yourliveevent.com. That timeout brought to you in part by Bank North. Visit ibanknorth.com. But right now, after the timeout, the LaMoure-Litchville Marion Lobos, wherever they go, they got the weapons, kind of like a Swiss Army knife. They can hurt you in many different ways. Whether it's Ness, it's Hansen, it's Hebel, it's Lettenmeyer, Mart, and company. And the Lobos trying to tack on some more points here in the second quarter. Hebel lines up to left-hand side of Hansen. Hansen has some time, comes across the middle to Theolgis, just behind Theolgis, incomplete at the 10. And that'll make it 3rd and 10. Give credit to the Raiders' defense, a little bend but don't break we've seen here today. We have seen one turnover on downs. The one thing the offense and the special teams unit has given LaMoure-Litchville Marion more times than not really good starting field position, where it kind of makes it tough on your defense. Maple River, first year of this co-op here with the the Hope Page School District and Maple Valley School District. Hope Page with Finley Sharon last year, and you had Maple Valley with Enderlin last season. Hansen fires. That one's going to be incomplete at the 5. Really good coverage by Rohrbeck, able to bat it down in front of Tate Mart, and that would have been enough for about a gain of 9. Instead, it's a incompletion here with 56.9 seconds left to play in half number 1. So for LaMoure-Litchville Marion, unable to get it past the 10-yard line right now. And it's been all passes as of late, nothing on the ground here for the Lobos. And another opportunity here with a 4th and 10. They need the 4 for the first. Ness in the slot, Theodis in the near slot as well. On the outside here for Maple River is Blaze Isaacson. Hansen looks, going down the middle, that's into the end zone for the score to Tate Mart for his 2nd receiving touchdown of the game. 2 receptions now for 2 scores and 76 yards for Tate Mart. You bring Ness outside, you bring Mart on the inside, able to open up some space. Hansen now with 100 yards passing right on the dot here for his 2nd passing touchdown of the game. And with 52.2 seconds left to play on our City of Hope scoreboard, the Lobos have made it a 4-possession game. 2-point conversion upcoming here with Lettenmeyer in the backfield. Hansen goes under center. We'll see if it's QB keeper or maybe a toss play. Instead, it's going to be a rollout pass play, and that's going to be to Colton Ness for the 2-point conversion. And our City of Hope scoreboard, LaMoure-Litchville Marion scores for the 2nd time in the second quarter with 53 seconds left to play here in the first half. The Lobos now lead at 30-0 on your live event.
My roots run deep. I dream of a world where planting a seed can bring forth the food and knowledge our world needs right now. The field is my classroom, and I have the power to make a difference. I am going to feed the world someday.
For the Lobos, able to get in the end zone for the 4th time today on their 5th possession of the game. It takes nearly 2 minutes off the clock, goes 44 yards, and now a kickoff upcoming here for LaMoure-Litchville Marion with Juan Cruz at the 40-yard line. The Lobos trying to get to 9-0 on the season. A squad that is looking for a win 21 in a row, dating back to November 6th of 2020. Been over 700 days since the Lobos have last lost a football game on the gridiron. This one, an end over end kick. Hovelson picks it up right at the 3, right between the hashes. Hovelson now goes to the outside, makes a cutback at the 15, and he gets wrapped up at the 20, and that's where Maple River will start with the football here with 46 seconds left to play in the opening half. For Maple River, it's been Hovelson left, Hovelson right, Hovelson up the middle, but we haven't seen anything else muster much offense here for the Raiders here this afternoon, as T. Silling is 1 of 3 through the air with -4 yards and an interception. Silling, handoff. This one goes to Hovelson and gets met right in the gut. You had Wendell there, you got Hebel, you got Steffes as well, and Hovelson took a shot, as that's going to go back to the 20-yard line and be a gain of 0. Hovelson, though, just like we've seen throughout the season, getting the lion's share of the carries. That's his 15th carry of the afternoon, and this might very well be our final play here in half number 1. We'll see where Maple River goes offensively here as they go one more time to that wishbone formation with Reamer and Hovelson with the upbacks. Silling, handoff. This one goes to Reamer. Reamer gets to the 25-yard line, stiff arms a man to the 30, and has the first down to the 31-yard line with 0.6 seconds left to play here in the first half. Reamer with his second carry, and that'll do it for half number 1, where LaMoure-Litchville Marion will go into the half up 30-0 here over Maple River, and an impressive first half here for the number 1 seed in 9B football. The Lobos score 16 points in the first quarter, 14 points in the second. Maple River scoreless here, and the Raiders will have to kick off to start the second half of play. From Townsend Field in LaMoure, it's the halftime show. Coming up next, the Raiders trailing it by 30 on your live event.
Harvest is here, and that means we all need to be careful. Hello, this is Bethany Rentz with Irie Insurance. We want to make sure everyone up and down the valley has a safe and successful harvest. Take extra special care in your travels. Slow-moving combines, mud-covered roads, and debris are just a few things during harvest that can be dangerous. So take your time, watch your surroundings, and most of all, be patient and slow down. For more harvest safety tips, go to irieins.com.
You're protected and appreciated at Irie.
Irie Insurance is an equal opportunity provider.
Dakota Heritage Bank, serving you with 10 locations across North Dakota and northwestern Minnesota, has a strong background in ag and business lending, but they can also help with auto, recreational, personal, or home loans, including home equity lines of credit. Dakota Heritage Bank is a family-owned community bank where decisions are made locally. Our friendly staff greets you with a smile, takes the time to get to know you, and can help you with your banking needs. Visit us online, dhbanknd.com. Dakota Heritage Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
The friendly staff at LaMoure Drugstore reminds you, from school supplies, greeting cards, or prescription requests, you can find it all at LaMoure Drugstore. They deliver any day of the week upon request and will answer any general health questions you have. Plus, stop in for the annual flu shots. No appointment is necessary. Just stop in and they'll take care of you at LaMoure Drugstore. They're located in the center of LaMoure in the Bank North Mall. For more information, go to LaMoureDrugstore.com. That's LaMoureDrugstore.com.
Hey, what you doing?
Crawling around under my planter trying to figure out if I need any maintenance parts replaced.
It's harvest time, buddy.
Yeah, I know, but the guys at RDK Enterprises keep reminding me to check now, just in case I need something ordered.
What do I look for?
Just give RDK a call and ask some questions. They are the guys I go to for answers.
This is Chris from RDK Enterprises, your local precision planting dealer. We will answer all of your planter questions or come out to your farm and take a look at your planter. Give us a call, 701-636-2119 or planterdoc.com.
Back here at the half on our City of Hope scoreboard. Work and play in Hope, North Dakota. From job listings and housing options, search HopeND.com. That's HopeND.com. Chase Miller, Jake with Trouble with you here on your live event at the half. LaMoure-Litchville Marion looking like the number 1 overall seeded team And here's a shocker for you on your live event in terms of a seed line. Lisbon 8, Hillsborough Central Valley 7 after the first half of play in Hillsborough. Also on your live event going on today in Mayville, it's Mayport CG and LaMoure-Litchville. And Mayport CG last we saw all over LaMoure-Litchville 50-14. But 11B football, the Broncos looking to spur the upset a little bit. And if they're able to do so, that means Oaks or Thompson would host Lisbon next week in the playoffs. And two teams probably weren't thinking that we're going to have a potential home game. So we'll see what happens in that one on yourliveevent.com. Jake and Jim Burkmeyer for you on that one. Joel Morgan in Mayville. But you got Chase and Jake with you here in LaMoure. Taking a look at the scoring recap. LaMoure-Litchville Marion after a block punt by Brady Lettenmeyer. 5 plays, they are able to go down the field, and Hansen caps it off with a 4-yard rushing touchdown on a 23-yard drive. Lettenmeyer with a 2-point conversion to make it 8-0 LLM. Then the Lobos with 3:27 left to play in the first quarter got a 62-yard touchdown, and this could very well be as well our play of the game because of where it was. A 4th and 10, ball is on your own 38. You go for it. Mind you, you go into the wind a little bit when you go for it, and Hansen was able to hit Mart for a 62-yard touchdown down the near sideline. If you don't get it, you give the Raiders great starting field position at the Lobos' 38-yard line. So they went for it on 4th and 10. Hansen to Mart, 62 yards. 2-point conversion was good to make it 16-0 Lobos. And then Lettenmeyer had a 4-yard rushing touchdown with 4:01 left to play in the second quarter. And then with 53.2 seconds left to play in the first half, Hansen hit Mart for 14 yards for the score. Hansen and Ness for the 2-point conversion to make it 30-0 LLM. First half numbers for the Lobos: 203 yards of total offense, 21 carries, 103 yards, 100 yards through the air. So far, the leading rusher for the Lobos, Lettenmeyer, 13 carries for 73 yards and a touchdown. Hansen, 6 carries for 24 yards. Hebel, 1 for 4, and Mart is 1 of 2. Hansen through the air, 4 of 14 for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. The 2 scores went to Tate Mart. Mart with a receiving touchdown of 62 yards and a receiving touchdown of 14 yards. Hebel, 1 reception of 18 yards, and Ness, 1 reception of 6 yards. The Lobos with 0 turnovers, 3 penalties for 20 yards. On the opposite side here for Maple River, they were led by Clay Hovelson. Hovelson, 15 carries for 33 yards. You had Reamer, 2 carries for 12 yards. Satcham, 1 of -8, and that again is Calvin Satcham, and Rohrbeck, 1 of 1. T. Silling through the air, 1 of 3 for -4 yards and an interception. That 1 reception went to Hovelson. No penalties, but 1 turnover. Tate Mart with the INT. Total yards here for the Raiders of 32 yards, 40. Make that 36 on the ground on 19 attempts and -4 through the air. We'll take a quick break. We're back after this with a look at our out-of-town scoreboard at the half on our City of Hope scoreboard. It's LaMoure-Litchville Marion 30, Maple River scoreless on your live event.
Stay up to date with the latest goings-on in the region with the Coaches Show every Wednesday night on yourliveevent.com.
Goes deep down the middle, has a man, Soka Porter! Soka Porter to the 20, to the 10, to the 5, and taken down there.
We'll dive into the latest stories from North Dakota and Minnesota.
And there's the block by Reese.
That's the Coaches Show with me, Joe Lancello, on yourliveevent.com every Wednesday night starting at 7.
Ziegler Ag Equipment, Highway 9, North Ada, just traded an MT-845C Challenger tractor with PTO and a versatile 485 with 900 duals, 12x4 transmission, now new lower priced at $119,900. Ziegler Ag Equipment is your Woods dealer. Visit with Chuck and Neil for Woods mowers. Ziegler Ag Equipment keeps you on the cutting edge of ag technology. Ziegler Ag Equipment, Highway 9, North Ada, 218-784-2961.
Check out the Lost in the Valley Corn Maze and Pumpkin Patch going on at the Red River Valley Fair this weekend and next weekend. That's Friday through Sundays until October 30th. There's everything from a kid straw bale maze, pumpkin bowling, cornhole, and more. Tickets are available at redrivervalleyfair.com. Plus, make sure to check out their website and social media pages regarding special events and weather. Admission $10 per person, ages 2 and under are free. At the Valley Corn Maze and Pumpkin Patch going on at the Red River Valley Fair. Earlier today, we found out who the seed lines would be in 11A and AA. The bracket looks like this. In 11A, Dickinson will have to travel to Fargo South. The Bruins are the number 1 overall seed. Number 4 seed Valley City will host the 5 seed of Fargo North and Coach Adam Rowland's Spartans coming up on Friday night in the city of Bridges. In Jamestown, the Blue Jays, the number 2 seed, will host number 7 seed Grand Forks Central, the Knights. And then from Cushman Field in Grand Forks, the 3-seeded Grand Forks Rough Riders will host the Wahpeton Huskies. And then in 11 AA, West Fargo Cheyenne, the number 1 overall seed, will host Bismarck Century in the quarters. That's been a state championship match the last couple of years. 4-5 matchup, Legacy will host Davies after beating Davies last night in Fargo. Number 2 seed Mandan will host 7-seeded Jay Gibson's West Fargo Packers. And then the 3-6 matchup from Sid-Cichy Stadium, it's Minot at Fargo Shanley. So that's a look at what the playoff bracket is coming up. In 11B, the Shiloh Christian Skyhawks all over the Des Lacs Burlington Lakers right now, 14-0 in 11B football. As we mentioned earlier, Central Cass just kicked off with Botno up in Rowlett earlier, just about 4 or 5 minutes ago. Mayport CG all over Weimar-Lidgewood here on your live event, and also Lisbon and Hillsborough Central Valley. That game in Hillsborough, and at the half, it's the Broncos 8, the Burros 7, which would be a pretty big upset, but also Region 1 would be flexing their muscle a little bit there against Region 2. Weimar-Lidgewood, Mayport CG, 8:52 left to play in the fourth quarter. Mayport CG leads it over the Warbirds 50-14. So that's a look at your out-of-town scoreboard here as well. Games to kick off just a little bit while ago here in 9B at 2. New Salem, Almont, Henniger County. The Holsteins won 72-20 earlier this season. You had number 3 North Prairie against North Border. North Prairie beat North Border 48-22, and Divide County and West Hope Newburgh. That also is a rematch from a game that Divide County put up 52 points against the Sioux, but the Maroons gave up 46 back in Divide County on September the 16th. When we come back after this, we'll get ready for the second half. Again, on the City of Hope scoreboard, Maple River will have to kick off to begin the second half. It's LaMoure-Litchville, Marion 30, Maple River scoreless. It's the 9B football playoff second round action on your live event.
In Hope, North Dakota, we aren't just a town, we're a community, one that you can be proud of, where you and your family can grow. With available jobs, affordable housing, a local golf course and pool, the Sportsman Club, and great educational opportunities, there hasn't been a better time to join the Hope community, ideally located between Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. For more information, go to www.hopend.com. Live, work, and play in Hope, North Dakota.
I'm Darian Bitts. I'm confident on and off the field. And when it's time for college, I'm confident Bank of North Dakota will help me make good student loan decisions. Visit bnd.nb.gov/confident.
I'm Trace Tisberg. I'm confident on the stage, and when it's time for college, I'm confident Bank of North Dakota will help me make good student loan decisions. Visit bnd.nd.gov/confident.
Goose River Heating and Cooling Hillsborough, serving the Hillsborough and surrounding communities, ready to provide you with service work to existing and new customers. Whether Corey and the crew installed your heating and cooling system or not, they're ready to assist you with your service concerns. And if it's time to update your heating and cooling systems, whether it's your home, farm shop, a cabin, or office building, give Corey and the crew at Goose River Heating and Cooling a call. 701-430-1990. That's Goose River Heating and Cooling, Hillsborough, serving the Hillsborough area and surrounding communities.
LaMoure Hardware carries your everyday items for plumbing, electrical, automotive, and more. Check out their latest selection of snow and grain shovels alongside Milwaukee tools. Plus, stop by LaMoure Hardware today and browse their sweet pickin' section. You'll see brand new furniture and decor. LaMoure Hardware is your community one-stop shop. For more information on all the services LaMoure Hardware offers, go online to LaMoureHardware.com. That's LaMoureHardware.com.
As we get ready for the third quarter play here from Townsend Field and LaMoure, it's the LaMoure-Litchville Marion Lobos up by 30 over the Maple River Raiders. Here on your live event, Chase Miller, Jake Watroba with you from Townsend Field. And what's turned out to be a pretty comfortable afternoon, all things considered. 59 degrees, high 50s, low 60s. The wind has been bearable for the most part compared to maybe earlier this morning, but not too shabby. You see some folks out here with coats and jackets, others just wearing a sweatshirt, maybe some gloves and a hat. But we know winter's coming, but this is another weekend where we can enjoy it. And crazy to think, a week from Monday, it's Halloween weekend. As we're going to have that next weekend. Halloween's on Monday. Minnesota Vikings sweatshirts are here out in attendance. Don't have to worry about them playing tomorrow or even Monday on their bye week as they get ready for the Arizona Cardinals a week from Sunday with DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray coming into town at U.S. Bank Stadium. But in this one, LaMoure-Litchville Marion, the Lobos earned a 3-and-out to begin the game. Brady Lettenmeyer was able to block a Calvin Santrum punt, which teed up the Lobos offense. 5 plays later, Hansen with a touchdown, and they never have trailed since. The one play, though, that has really been a difference maker was that 4th and 10 outside of that where you go and hit Tate Mart on a 62-yard touchdown where you felt at that point the pendulum could swing in momentum one way or another. If you get it, much less get a touchdown, but if you get it, if you're the Lobos, you felt like, okay, we can control this game. If you're Maple River and you're able to get a stop, all of a sudden now you're right on the doorstep and you're one broken tackle, one good play away from tying the game up potentially, and that makes it a completely different ball game. Instead, Tate Mart went right down the sidelines, and the Lobos have never looked back ever since then as well in the first quarter. LaMoure-Litchville Marion, they will host throughout. They continue to win. They will play here on Townsend Field for Maple River. 10th game of the season, trying to pull the upset, trying to pull the comeback. If they were to win this game going into it, they would have to travel on the road to either St. John or Surrey more than likely next week. But the Lobos, they win. They'll play the Woodchucks or the Mustangs a week from today here in LaMoure, where you start really getting more of your state kind of a rivalry a little bit, where a lot of the first and second round matchups are potential games against teams that you already played. Once you get to the quarterfinals, it could be a 4 or 5, 6 hour bus ride across the state to someone that you never meet unless it's in the quarter semis or the Dakota Bowl. The Dakota Bowl on Friday, November the 11th at the Fargo Dome. And a reminder that this game, this broadcast of this tournament game has been authorized by special arrangement with the Board of Directors of the North Dakota High School Activities Association. Put 12 minutes on the clock. We'll get ready for the third quarter, and putting the ball on the tee will be Calvin Santrum here for Maple River. The Raiders with 5 seniors here. Dylan Reamer. You also have Liam Santrum, Wyatt Silly, Marty Rohrbeck, and Clay Hovelson here, the 5 seniors potentially playing in their final 24 minutes of high school football. A little bit different story compared to last week, where it was all Maple River in half number 1 against the Richland Colts. Richland only able to get their only touchdown was on a Wolfcool kickoff return for a score. Sachem puts this one on the tee, kicks it to the left-hand side. Theolgis is there at the 36-yard line. Theolgis gets to the 40-yard line, and Theolgis gets wrapped up at the 45. Coming in on tackle is Caleb Downs here for Maple River. As LLM will start with the football here with right at midfield. This will be their 6th possession of the game here. It'll be at the 45-yard line here for the Lobos. And if you're LaMoure-Litchville Marion, see what head coach Andy Delabar draws up here to start this third quarter play. Going under center will be Hansen. Hansen, the senior QB. Handoff goes to Lettenmeyer. Lettenmeyer's going to drag a defender with him in the name of T. Silling to midfield at the 50. Lettenmeyer, 14 carries out, searching for that century mark, up to 78 yards. Defensive line here for Maple River. Ends of Wyatt and T. Silling, Liam Santrum, and Marty Rohrbeck. With linebackers here of Connor Dahl, Clay Hovelson, and Reamer. And then you have Drogan out there and also Caleb Downs. And we've seen Rohrbeck at times, too, split out to the outside going up against Tate Mart with that a little bit more of speed. Motioning right to left is Hebel. Lettenmeyer in the backfield by himself. little inside trap play that's going to go to Hebel. Hebel keeps it going as he's going to be taken to the 45 and down to about the 42-yard line. I think Hebel lost about half of his shirt as the hand of Dylan Reamer was trying to keep him close as much as possible, but Hebel able to get 8 yards on the first down rush. 2 carries now for 12 yards, and the guys up front here, we're seeing Brian Carogard, a sophomore tight end for LaMoure-Litchville. Marion Colton Ness haven't had to say his name so far too much today. The senior tight end, guards of Tucker Jones and Ryder Wendell, and the center of Brock Wendell here for LaMoure-Litchville. Marion Hansen, the quarterback. Tate Martin already with 2 receiving touchdowns on the season, doubling of what he did in the regular season with 2 so far here today. Handoff again to Lettenmeyer, goes straight up past the 40 to the 39-yard line for 3 yards on the rush. 15 carries now for 81 yards. Coming up on our post-game show, we'll hear from some of the particular players in this one. Also, the football coach of the winning team, as right now that would stand in Annie Delabar. We'll get to our Enbridge Energy player of the game and also our RDK Enterprises precision play of the game. That's all still to come on our post-game show. The Lobos right now have taken 2 minutes off this opening drive of the second half. Motion man is Tate Martin in the backfield. And that will be a little pitch play that will end up going on the sweep here to Mark. Mark gets the boundary, and look out. Mark gets the 20-yard line, and Tate will get wrapped up at the 19 for a 20-yard pass play. Hovelson gets the tackle, but Mark now 3 receptions for 96 yards. Anthony Hansen, 5 of 15 for a $120 through the air, and that's the easiest 20 yards you can get as a quarterback. Just kind of have a little hot potato pass and give it right to a guy that's going in pretty good speed, and the jet sweep there, and Tate Mart. Mart will go to the outside now for the Lobos as the wind is starting to pick up a little bit more here from Townsend Field as one of our programs has just went away. This one will be a handoff to Lettenmeyer. Lettenmeyer is going to get to about the 17-yard line for a gain of 2. So Hovelson able to come up with the tackle. 16 carries now for 83 yards. As coming on will be the Lobos here, and Lobos can just continue to trim this game away with a little bit of time in terms of keeping the possessions of where they're at, keep moving the ball as best as you can here in this one. And if they can continue to do that, limit the possessions that Maple River gets, try to get out of this game, knock on wood, without anybody getting too nicked up, and then get ready for the quarterfinals. That's next week on Saturday here for the Lobos. That's what they're looking to do right now. Handoff goes to Hebel on the delayed handoff there past the 10-yard line, and Hebel gets tripped up by the turf monster at about the 7. That's kind of like Wake Forest, barely waiting, and then finally the quarterback, Hansen, do you keep it or do you give it to your tailback? And that time the tailback was Hebel, and Hebel got a healthy gain there for the first down. So first and goal upcoming here. Hebel now 9 carries for 21 yards. You have 24 yards for Hansen and 83 here for Lettenmeyer. At the half, 203 yards of total offense for the Lobos with 103 coming on the ground. They've already amassed over 4 minutes on this drive that started back at their own 45-yard line. Shotgun formation again for Hansen. Motion man comes Martin into the backfield. This time Hansen QB keeper. Hansen is going to try to spin his way into the end zone, but he's going to be shy to about the 3-yard line. 5 yards on the carry here for Hansen. As the Lobos will come back onto the field here, make a couple of substitutions, as they're going to have Carogard back in. Also in will be Brady Lettenmeyer, as Hebel will go to that fullback spot. So you have a freshman in Tucker Jones, a senior in Brock Wendell, and a junior in Ryder Wendell, trying to open up a little bit of a lane here for Hansen, Hebel, or Lettenmeyer. It's for Lettenmeyer. Lettenmeyer walks into the end zone for the touchdown. His second score of the day on the ground. And with 6:50 left to play here in the third quarter, it's the Lobos 36, Maple River scoreless. Lettenmeyer now 86 yards of rushing, and the Lobos, with a running time now where the score is, will come on for the point after attempt with Juan Cruz. Hansen to hold. This one is a end over and kick, and Cruz gets it in. New score on our City of Hope scoreboard. It's LaMoure-Litchville Marion 37. The Maple River Raiders scoreless after a Juan Cruz PAT and a rushing touchdown by Lettenmeyer here on your live event.
Harvest is here, and that means we all need to be careful. Hello, this is Bethany Rentz with Irie Insurance. We want to make sure everyone up and down the valley has a safe and successful harvest. Take extra special care in your travels. Slow-moving combines, mud-covered roads, and debris are just a few things during harvest that can be dangerous. So take your time, watch your surroundings, and most of all, be patient and slow down. For more harvest safety tips, go to irieins.com.
You're protected and appreciated at Irie.
Irie Insurance is an equal opportunity provider.
Dakota Heritage Bank, serving you with 10 locations across North Dakota and northwestern Minnesota, has a strong background in ag and business lending, but they can also help with auto, recreational, personal, or home loans, including home equity lines of credit. Dakota Heritage Bank is a family-owned community bank where decisions are made locally. Our friendly staff greets you with a smile, takes the time to get to know you, and can help you with your banking needs. Visit us online, dhbanknd.com. Dakota Heritage Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Cruz puts this one on the tee here. Out-of-town scoreboard, Thompson leads over the Oaks Tornadoes 8-0 in the first quarter, and Lisbon continues to lead over LaMoure-Litchville Marion midway through the third quarter. Shiloh all over Deluxe Burlington 21-8 in the second, and right now it's Botno over Central Cass 8-6 early in that contest in the first half up in Rolette. The Lobos will put this one on the tee here with Cruz. A high end-over-end kick by Cruz. It'll bounce to the 15. Olson picks it up there at the 11-yard line. Olson gets the numbers to about the 25, and that's where he's tripped up, and that's where Maple River will start with the football here in this second half for their first possession in half number 2. So Maple River with 6:20 left to play here in the third quarter will handle it at the 25-yard line. Had a really good play to end the first half where everybody was looking for Hovelson, and all of a sudden here comes across the wing T and Dylan Reamer for a gain of 11. Now Maple River, though, they're going to come out more of a pistol formation here for Silling. Silling handoff to Hovelson. Hovelson bounces it to the boundary. Here Tate Martin's going to try to push him out of bounds, unable to do so. And Hovelson does a really good job getting to the outside, gets by the block of Mart, and gets his way to the 36-yard line for a first down. That is the best run of the day for Hovelson. 16 carries now for 44 yards. Able to get to the boundary there, and a little bit of a wrinkle from head coach Larry Fontaine. Seen more of a pistol that time instead of going under center or the shotgun, but now they will go back under center here with the wishbone formation. As Maple River will handle it here with Reamer, and ready for that one is LaMoure-Litchville Marion on the outside here. You had Steffes in on there, also with Theolgis, and that's going to be a loss to about the 34-yard line for a loss of 2 here to Reamer. So second down and long upcoming here for Maple River. Ball will be spotted between the 34-yard line. The Raiders have got to the 50 just once today, but haven't been able to have a play inside Lobo territory. One wide receiver splits out to the near sideline, and Steven Drogan for the Raiders as they go back to this little bit more of a pistol formation here. This will go to Hovelson. Hovelson gets to the 35, and Steffes is able to trip him up to about the 38-yard line for a gain of 4 here for Hovelson. So third down and long here for the Raiders. The Lobos, 16 points in the first quarter, 7 points in the second, 7 so far here today in the third, as Maple River will come out here with a third and long. They will need the Lobo 46 for the first down as Drogan splits out to the far sideline, where you see that little bit of a baseball field on the infield playing here in LaMoure. This one a handoff again to Hovelson. Hovelson gets to the 40 and then wrapped up and taken down by Ryder Wendell to the 42-yard line for a gain of 4 yards here for Hovelson. 18 carries now for 52 yards, and they're going to try to give Hovelson as many touches as we mentioned. Now they'll need the 46-yard line here for the first for Maple River. Maple River, 6 wins, 3 losses on the season. Going back through some of their history here in terms of their co-op, Hope Page, 9-man runner-up in 2000. And then the Hope Page Clifford Galesburg, 1989 nine-man state champs and runner-up in 1988. Hope state champs just by themselves in 81 and 1980, runners-up. Here's a 4th down and 4. Handoff goes back to Hovelson right up the middle, and Hovelson is going to get met by a host of Lobos, make it a pack of Lobos. And that'll be to about the 43 for a gain of 1 and a turnover on downs. Turnover on downs here will give LaMoure-Litchville Marion the football right back. As where it stands right now, the Lobos will look to get to 9-0 on the season, get to extend their winning streak to 21 straight games. LaMoure-Litchville Marion against playoff opponents this year beat Maple River by 50, beat Hatton Northwood by 58, beat Richland by 49, defeated Mayport CG in Mayville by 4, then topped LaMoure-Litchwood by 20 to close out the regular season on October the 7th. 1st and 10, handoff Lettenmeyer. Hovelson trying to grab the tackle, and Lettenmeyer moves the pile forward before a couple of Raiders able to bring him down. Levi Trader there also with him on the tackle was Stephen Drogan. That'll be a gain from the 43 to the 40-yard line for a gain of 3. 18 carries for 89 yards here for Lettenmeyer. Makes it 2nd down and 7 at the 3-minute mark of this 3rd quarter. As Lettenmeyer dots the eye again, Hebel, the fullback. Handoff goes to Lettenmeyer. Lettenmeyer pops his way past the 35, spins his way to the 31, and brings a Raider with him for 9 yards. Coming in on the tackle, that'll be Stephen Drogan, but a 1st down here for the Lobos. 19 carries now for 98 yards, and you have a touchdown in the first half, a touchdown in the second here for Lettenmeyer. As the Lobos will continue to turn the gears here and the time, and will keep it on the ground in these last couple of plays. Twins to the far sideline. We'll see if we get one to the near sideline on the handoff. Instead, it goes to Lettenmeyer right up the middle, who gets tripped over. Hovelson was there to be part of the party to bring him down at the 30 for a gain of 1. 2nd and 9 upcoming now for the LaMoure-Litchville Marion Lobos. The top 8 seeds earn a bye into this 2nd round. How many will still be alive after today as we get to the quarterfinals? Seeds 1 through 4 would host the quarters next week if they win their respective matchups. Ball at the 30-yard line of Maple River. Pitch play goes out to the near sideline here to Lettenmeyer. Lettenmeyer picks up a block, gets to the boundary, then gets thrown down at about the 27-yard line. Is coming in on a tackle for Maple River was Connor Dahl, and there's the century mark now for Lettenmeyer as they pitched it out to the outside for a gain of a couple of yards. As we'll have a 3rd down and long here for the Lobos. So far, Hansen's just thrown 1 pass in this 2nd half, and it was a good one for 20 yards on a little touch pass on a jet sweep to Tate Mart. Makes it 3rd and 7. They'll need the 21-yard line for the 1st down here for the Lobos. Hansen under center. Play action, gets pressured, finds a man, and that's going to be fumbled. I think they're going to give him the catch. No, they're not. Carl Gard will not get the catch. He had it in front of him, but as he went to the boundary, unable to bring it in with him, and that'll be a 4th down upcoming. Really good pressure on the outside by Wyatt Silling right off the bat as he came unevaded, but unfortunate there for the sophomore in Brian Carl Gard. 2 receptions for 26 yards coming into the day. Had a chance to make it 3 instead. It'll be a 4th down. So Lobos will make a couple of substitutions here, and potentially could be the final play of the 3rd quarter upcoming. Neither team has taken a Bank North timeout here in the 2nd half. And now we at 10 seconds on the play clock. Twins both left and right here for LaMoure-Litchville Marion. They need the 21 for the first. Lobos going across the middle on a post pattern. They'll be right at the sticks and some to the 16-yard line for a gain of 12 on the exact same play that Mart has scored a touchdown on. Mart now with 108 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. After 3 quarters of play on our City Hope scoreboard, it's the Lobos up 37 to scoreless.
The friendly staff at LaMoure Drugstore reminds you from school supplies, greeting cards, or prescription requests, you can find it all at LaMoure Drugstore. They deliver any day of the week upon request and will answer any general health questions you have. Plus, stop in for the annual flu shots. No appointment is necessary. Just stop in and they'll take care of you at LaMoure Drugstore. They're located in the center of LaMoure in the Bank North Mall. For more information, go to LaMourDrugstore.com. That's LaMourDrugstore.com.
Farmers, are you expanding, upgrading, or want to automate? Visit with the experienced staff at Hope Electric to learn about the latest electrical systems and the newest technologies that they have developed to make your operation more efficient. Get a custom system in place with features like iPad truck loading and remote view grain storage, touchscreen controls, hazard monitoring systems, and wireless cellular cameras to protect your assets. Hope Electric, serving the agricultural and commercial industry since 1978. Visit hopeelectric.com or call 701-945-2460.
Final in 9B football as we get ready for the fourth quarter. Mayport CG defeats LaMoure-Litchville 50-22 earlier today on your live event. Also going to the fourth quarter, Lisbon right now leads number 3rd seeded Hillsborough Central Valley 8-7, and Botno right now rolling against Central Cass 16-7 with 5 minutes left to play in the first quarter in 11B football. This one's going to be a spin by Hansen, and Hansen's going to be met and popped up at the line there by Reamer and also Hovelson as Hansen spun his way to about the 17-yard line here. And that'll be a tackle right at the line of scrimmage here for Hansen. 8 carries now for 29 yards. Neither team has had a penalty here in the second half. Neither team has had, on top of that, a turnover. This is just the 3rd possession of this second half. And when you get that running clock, it continues to wind and wind and wind a little bit more than what you have on your normal. Once it gets past that 30-point plateau, handoff here by Lettenmeyer. Lettenmeyer gets to about the 16-yard line, as that'll be a gain of 1 on the play here. Lettenmeyer now 22 carries for 102. Is that a very workmanlike game? Once we get to our player of the game, Tate Mart had a good play early on. Lettenmeyer, though, had the block punt. You might have your 1A, 1B. A good job by the freshman coming in as Tucker Jones is starting here for Sage Goosauce, and Wyatt White unavailable today. They're hoping to get him back next week here for the Lobos. So 3rd and 9, a snap that took a little while to get to QB, but they set up the screen to Hebel. Hebel to the 5, Abel into the end zone, touchdown, LaMoure-Litchville Marion. They set up the screen play to Hebel for 15 yards, and Garrett gets into the end zone, and the Lobos now lead it 43-0. 147 yards passing, and now 3 touchdowns here for Hansen. Hebel has his second reception of the game. This one goes for 15 yards and a score as well, as the Lobos will put this one for an opportunity here for Juan Cruz to get another point after attempt. And the PAT comes through, and the PAT is good. A new score on our City of Hope scoreboard. It's LaMoure-Litchville Marion, the Lobos 44, the Maple River Raiders scoreless. It's 9B playoff football on your live event.
Hey, what you doing?
Crawling around under my planter trying to figure out if I need any maintenance parts replaced.
It's harvest time, buddy.
Yeah, I know, but the guys at RDK Enterprises keep reminding me to check now, just in case I need something ordered.
What do I look for?
Just give RDK a call and ask some questions. They are the guys I go to for answers.
This is Chris from RDK Enterprises, your local precision planting dealer. We will answer all of your planter questions or come out to your farm and take a look at your planter. Give us a call, 701-636-2119 or planterdoc.com.
Farming today doesn't always feel the same way it used to. Then again, some of it feels all the same. Maybe it isn't so much the jobs that changed, but how they get done. Now that's a different story. Efficiencies are critical, which is why you need a lender who will find the right loan structure for a strong financial future. You need a lender to look out for your whole farm operation. Ag Country.
LaMoure-Litchville, Marion, the Lobos have scored now in every quarter after that 15-yard touchdown strike. Hanson to Hebel as they set up the screen perfectly. Cruz puts on the point after attempt and puts the ball on the tee here at the 40-yard line as the Lobos have now scored 14 points in the second half. A high end-over-end kick, as we said multiple times here for Cruz. Hovelson at the 21-yard line trying to get to the numbers. Stays up and then gets tackled by Theelgis at the 28-yard line. And that's where Maple River will start with the football here for the Raiders. For LaMoure-Litchville, Marion, able to take a good chunk of time off the clock and limit this game, and writing is on the wall now for 9:54 left to play. For Maple River last year, the co-ops, again, a Finley Sharon Hope Page, they made the postseason but lost to Weimar Lidgewood in the first round. Enderlin Maple Valley made the postseason but lost to Mayport CG in the first round. So with this co-op, they went around farther than what they did last year with their respective co-ops, as this is a handoff. Bouncing his way to about the 33-yard line was Dylan Reamer, as Reamer able to get a gain of about a good 4 yards there for Maple River. And now moving forward here for head coach Larry Fontaine, how nine-man football is going to change next season. Sargent County's coming back to nine-man for the first time in over a decade. Lytton HMB, after 2 years playing 11-man, they're coming back to nine-man football. So the regions more than likely would go from 8 to a big group of 10, where everyone plays each other once. You get 9 regular season games, 4 regions. This one a good handoff here by Reamer, breaking tackles, gets to the 39-yard line. Reamer with a gain of 7. 5 carries now for 21 yards. But next season here again, we'll see how the regions look in nine-man football. Sargent County again coming back down. Lytton HMB coming back down. Cavalier, if they make it back to the state championship 3 consecutive years, they would have to go to 11-man next season. So you'll see some new, you'll see some old faces going to 9B football next year here in North Dakota. Maple River will come out here with a first down, ball spotted at their own 39-yard line. This will be a handoff to Hovelson. Hovelson gets to the 40-yard line, trying to bring Colton Ness with him to the 45, and they'll mark it right at the 45 for a gain of 6. 20 carries now for 59 yards here. It'll be second down and short upcoming for the Maple River Raiders. LaMoure-Litchville, Marion this season. Take a look at games that they played. Shutout Maple River, shutout Enderlin, shutout Hatton Northwood. One via a forfeit to Tri-State. They shut out Richland, and they shut out Hankinson. So looking for another goose egg here today. Handoff goes back to Reamer, and Reamer brings Wendell with him to about the 46-yard line. Brock Wendell has had himself a really nice game. Reamer now 6 carries for 22 yards for LaMoure-Litchville, Marion. You have a senior in Hanson, also Tate Martin, Lettenmeyer, Garrett Hebel, Brennan Steffes, Brock Wendell, Joy Wake, Gusas, Isaacson, and Colton Ness. So this is a squad that has seen a lot of success as juniors last year, winning a state championship. Now this year trying to get back to the Dakota Bowl and defend their title. Third down and short upcoming here. A little fullback trap play to Connor Dahl, who buries his way to the 50-yard line. 4 yards on the rush for Connor Dahl on his first carry of the day. And Maple River, this is the farthest they've came today, has been the 50-yard line, as they did it once in the first half, and now they've done it here in the second half, and they're looking to get into Lobo territory here in this contest. Clock continues to go with 7 minutes left to play on our City Hub scoreboard in this game that started right on time at 1 o'clock. We had a football game that went 1 hour and 47 minutes last week from kickoff to the final play. We might be awfully close to that again this game between Maple River and Richland last week. Now it's the Raiders and the Lobos this week. You have T. Silling looking down the field. That one's going to be caught to Wyatt past the 40-yard line, who breaks a tackle down to the 30, 25, and taken down at the 22-yard line. That's going to be 28 yards on the pitch and catch here for the Raiders. First down, Maple River. First catch here by Wyatt Silling. T now for 2 for 4 for 24 yards passing with an interception, and Maple River now sniffing the red zone for the first time today. They leaked out their running back in Connor Dahl there. If T maybe was able to turn his body, he might have saw him, but instead looked for his brother, and his brother continued to work and try to get open, and he did so, and now it's going to be a first down upcoming here for Maple River. As under center goes Silling, handoff goes to Reamer. Reamer gets popped. Good play by Braden Steffes, the senior linebacker on the outside. Ready for that one, stayed home, and now it's going to be a gain of 1. As much as we can talk about the line play here of LaMoure-Litchville Marion, and rightfully so, the linebackers have been awfully good here today. Of Theelgis, Lettenmeyer, Garrett Hebel, and Braden Steffes, they've just continued to first and foremost make the tackle, or number 2, turn the running back into help where someone else can finish them off. They've been just really stout here so far today for Coach Andy Delabar and the Lobos. As Drogan lines up on the right-hand side here for Maple River. I formation as Hovelson dots the I with T. Silling under center. Pitch play goes to the aforementioned Hovelson, who tries to get to the boundary here to the 20-yard line. Stiff arms a man and gets taken down at about the 19 for a gain of a couple of yards to about the 3 yards on the rush. Isaacson able to bring him down. And now it's going to be 21 carries for 62 hard-earned yards here for Clay Hovelson. Maple River with this result will finish with 6 wins and 4 losses on the season. But again, a very good and competitive year here for Maple River for this co-op for football. Handoff, this will go to Reamer, and Steffes comes in and makes the tackle. Reamer able to get to about the back to the line and make it 4th and about 5 upcoming here. So taking a look ahead here, this is always a tough time for the playoffs. We saw it last week with the Richland Colts fans making the trek from Colfax area to go up to Hope, and it was their final game. It'll be the same thing here for this Maple River 2022 version. It'll be their final game here of this season after starting the year against LaMoure-Litchville Marion, their first time out back in August on the 19th in Hope. This one will be to Reamer on a little reverse action, and Wendell was there, and Hebel eventually takes him down for a 2-yard loss, and that'll be a turnover on downs here for Maple River. So defense stands yet again here for LaMoure-Litchville Marion as they will look for another shutout, as the Lobos can handle the ball here and just continue to milk some clock, and they will find themselves back into the quarterfinals for back-to-back seasons. And with this shutout here for LaMoure-Litchville Marion, this will be their 6th shutout of the season defensively. Only 2 teams to score on them, Mayport CG and Weimar Lidgerwood. Hanson, handoff here to Lettenmeyer. Lettenmeyer gets popped past the 20-yard line to about the 23-yard line for a gain of 3 yards here. 23 attempts now for 104 yards for Lettenmeyer. Is coming out of the game for LaMoure-Litchville Marion, Gavin Christopherson, able to get a rep there as they're bringing some fresh faces into the game for a little bit here now for the Lobos late in this 4th quarter. Hanson will look at the ref here and try to get it to about to 10 before he gets under center and wants to hard counter or get a snap off. Handoff goes to Lettenmeyer, pounces it out to the left-hand side, past the 25 to the 26. Almost part of the party that brought him down. Also with him was Connor Dahl. 3 yards on the conversion here for Lettenmeyer on the rush. Now for 108 yards. NDSU football is off this Saturday. UND has a good contest coming up with South Dakota State at 3 o'clock from the Alaris Center. And can the Gophers going to Happy Valley in whiteout conditions later tonight and pull off the upset win in the battle for the Liberty Bell, or the Governor's Bell, against Penn State. That's later tonight at 6:30. Under center again, handoff is Lettenmeyer, who bowls his way to about the 28-yard line to get 2 yards here for the Lobos. And we got a timeout by head coach Larry Fontaine. This timeout brought to you in part by our friends at Bank North. For more information, visit ibanknorth.com or stop by one of their locations today in Buffalo, LaMoure, or Marion. We'll put a bow on the 4th quarter next on your live event.
I'm Carrie Hepper. Rodeo takes confidence. And when it's time for college, I'm confident Bank of North Dakota will help me make good student loan decisions. Visit bnd.nd.gov/confident.
I'm Darian Bitts. I'm confident on and off the field. And when it's time for college, I'm confident Bank of North Dakota will help me make good student loan decisions. Visit bnd.nb.gov/confident.
Chase Miller, Jake Wetruba with you here after a timeout, brought to you in part by Bank North here in LaMoure. The Lobos will have a 4th and 2 upcoming here as Maple River calls the timeout by head coach Larry Fontaine. And now the Lobos will handle it here, looking to get a couple of yards. Hansen rolls, right-hand side, goes into the flat to Hebel. Hebel to the 30-yard line to the 40. Hebel makes a cut, stiff arms a man to the 50 and gets taken out of bounds, and we do have a flag. Might be a face mask here, but right now it goes to the 48-yard line, and that is a gain of 24 right now, barring the penalty. So we'll see who and what the penalty is on here. If it's going to be from a spot here, if it's on LaMoure-Litchville, it's still a first down. It's going to be a face mask on LaMoure, but it will be a first down. We'll take it back from the spot of the play. So it's going to be a 5-yard penalty here on the Lobos. Give Hebel his 3rd catch of the day for now 57 yards. On the opposite side for Hansen, starting to do a good job as he did throughout the game, but finishing it off really well here for the Lobos, as he now has 171 yards of passing through the air here for Anthony Hansen. Handoff Lettenmeyer. Lettenmeyer gets to the 45 and breaking a tackle to about the 47. Makes it 4 yards on the rush there for Lettenmeyer. Be the leading rusher here of the game. 26 carries for 114 yards. Again, a reminder, Mayport CG defeated Marion earlier today, so the Patriots advanced. If Cavalier wins, you'd have a 4-5 showdown in Cavalier 9B football next week. Also going on yourliveevent.com, a good one the last we checked in the 4th quarter. It was 8-7 Lisbon over Hillsborough Central Valley in Hillsborough. 2nd down and short upcoming here. Handoff, Lettenmeyer bounces it out to the outside, and he's able to get the first down right at the sticks. Looks to be enough for the first at the 47-yard line, barring the spot. And they're going to mark it just shy, so it'll be a 3rd down upcoming here. So it'll be 4-yard gain here by Lettenmeyer. One more first down. We'll put this one to bed, and all that the Lobos will have to do is take a knee, and LaMoure-Litchville will improve to 9-0 on this season, get back to the quarterfinals here, as back-to-back years able to do that here at Towson Field, and actually 3 straight years going back to 2020. Well, they made it to the semis. Last year made it to the Dakota Bowl. This year trying to get back to the good old Fargo Dome. 3rd down and short. Handoff here. Lettenmeyer tries to get enough for the first down. Liam Satcham is there for the tackle. And that'll be right to where they need to get, to about the 48-yard line. And that is going to be 4th down here, but they don't need to run a play, and that'll do it here in this contest. Your final on our City of Hope scoreboard. LaMoure-Litchville Marion able to score in every quarter, and they win it by a final of 44-0. Handshake lines going on now, as it's going to be the LaMoure-Litchville Marion, the Lobos, going on and advancing to the 9B quarterfinals with a 44-0 win. Our post-game show is coming up next with our Enbridge Energy Player of the Game, RDK Enterprises Precision Player of the Game, and we'll also hear from some of the final particulars in this one. In a contest that goes an hour and 46 minutes, the Lobos win it 44-0 on your live event.
Triple E Incorporated in Page is cheering on the Raiders. As they compete both on and off the field and on the court, you put in the effort to build a team with trust, experience, and the ability to accomplish your goals. The team at Triple E Incorporated is built the same way, with knowledge and experience that you can trust to get the job done with timeliness and efficiency. For your next non-residential building project, contact Triple E Incorporated, 701-668-2258, or stop by the office in Page. Make your next project a winner with a team from Triple E Incorporated in Page.
There's more at 104. Hillsborough, North Dakota has everything you need on your next road trip. Food, fuel, fun, and family-friendly activities. Stop by and fill up your tank or grab a bite to eat. Have a blast at Goose River Golf Club, the swimming pool, or one of our beautiful parks. There's even ice skating and cross-country skiing. Take in the sights or stay the night so you don't miss a thing. Experience Hillsborough and see why there's more at 104.
Farmers, are you expanding, upgrading, or want to automate? Visit with the experienced staff at Hope Electric to learn about the latest electrical systems and the newest technologies that they have developed to make your operation more efficient. Get a custom system in place with features like iPad truck loading and remote view grain storage, touchscreen controls, hazard monitoring systems, and wireless cellular cameras to protect your assets. Hope Electric, serving the agricultural and commercial industry since 1978. Visit hopeelectric.com or call 701-945-2460.
LaMoure Hardware carries your everyday items for plumbing, electrical, automotive, and more. Check out their latest selection of snow and grain shovels alongside Milwaukee tools. Plus, stop by LaMoure Hardware today and browse their sweet pickin' section. You'll see brand new furniture and decor. LaMoure Hardware is your community one-stop shop. For more information on all the services LaMoure Hardware offers, go online to LaMoureHardware.com. That's LaMoureHardware.com.
As we come back here on our postgame show, your final again, LaMoure-Litchville Marion 44, the Maple River Raiders scoreless in this contest. As we'll hear from some of the final particulars in this one, 342 yards of offense for LaMoure-Litchville Marion, 177 yards on both sides of the ball, 171 and 171. While on the opposite side for Maple River, they would finish with 104 yards of total offense here today for the Maple River Raiders. 80 yards on the ground, 24 yards through the air. For LaMoure-Litchville Marion, we had the Lobos down for 171 yards through the air and 171 yards on the ground as well for 342 yards of total offense. As we bring in now the head coach here for LaMoure-Litchville Marion, Andy Delabar. And Andy, first things first, before we get going, can you hear me okay down there,
Yeah,
Andy?
I can hear you. Yep.
Andy, congratulations on the win. You get the block punt to start the game with Brady Lettenmeyer short field. You get the touchdown. Then a fourth down in your own side. You hit St. Mart for 62 yards. It felt like those two plays were really two ones that got you over the top of the mountain, so to speak, Andy, early on in this game.
Yeah, big plays really got us going here to start, along with field position too. It was a short field for us offensively. Credit to our defense for getting them into 3 and outs and putting our offense in good spots.
What did you like to see from St. Mart? I know you used him on the jet sweep. You went to him there on that fourth down play to get that 62-yard touchdown early in the first quarter. What did you like from him today?
Well, he's another one of those weapons out there, and Tate made a nice play on that long pass, a great catch, and same with him on defense too. You know, he come up with a big interception, and just all around a special player, special athlete, and fun to have him out there playing.
How fun are wins like this in the postseason, Andy, where you go through August, you go through September, you go through a lot of work to get to this point of the year? How fun is it in Towson Field here in LaMoure to pick up another win and move into the quarterfinals?
It's awesome. We love playing here, and especially a playoff game, a playoff victory. A great group of seniors, and like I said here, just as we're finishing up, we just want to keep this train rolling.
Last thing for you, very impressive, I thought, from my point of view today. Yes, we can talk about the Wendells, we can talk about Tucker Jones, but how about the linebackers? They were able to fly around against Hovelson and Reamer, make a lot of plays today, Andy.
They were awesome. Garrett and Braden Steffes just did a great job making their reads, getting off blocks, and again, being good tacklers, too. I think a lot of credit to those guys inside, and Hovelson's a good runner. This is a team that can run the ball very well, and we did a great job stopping them today.
Hey, Andy, thanks so much for your time, and best of luck next week here in the quarterfinals.
Thanks, Chase. Appreciate it.
We'll go from Andy Delabar to the wide receiver now, and Mr. Tate Mart joined us here on our post-game show. Tate Mart, we had him down for 2 receiving touchdowns, 4 catches, 108 yards. Tate, first and foremost, congratulations on the win. Let's talk about that fourth down play. You're able to go 62 yards when you were able to catch it, and you're going down the field. What's kind of going through your mind there on that fourth down play, Tate?
Yeah, I knew I could get a step on him, so I got that step, and I was looking for the ball right away, and quarterback hit me in stride, and I was able to take it all the way.
When you see Brady Lettenmeyer able to get the block punt and give you a short field to start with, what do those plays like that do for this team in terms of some momentum?
Yeah, that's huge. That's an area where you don't expect much, but big plays can happen, and we use that good field advantage and scored on them.
I know you've been through this before last year, Tate. You're a senior this year. How sweet are wins like this in the playoffs when you're putting all the work in way back in August to get here in October football? Now you're going to play in November, potentially coming up as well. But how sweet is this to get to this point of the year and pick up a win at home?
Yeah, it's great. With all the work we put in, getting here, it's what we expected, and it feels good to be here.
Last thing for you, Tate, before we let you go. Do you like the stretch vertical play? Do you like the post play? What do you like as a wide receiver to get the ball in your hands?
I like the post play. I like being able to fake outside, go in, and try to beat them.
Hey, Tate, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck next week in the quarterfinals.
Thank you.
Tate Mart will have him hand off that headset to Garrett Hebel as well, coming up here in a moment, as Garrett will come in and join us here on the post-game show as well, as Garrett will take a look at the headset here in a moment, as Garrett Hebel, again, one of the leading tacklers here for LaMoure-Litchville Marion, and also a fullback that was able to handle this contest, as well as Garrett Hebel pops on the headset as he's going to be joining us now on the post-game show on LaMoure-Litchville Marion's 44-0 win over the Maple River Raiders. And Garrett, congratulations first and foremost on getting a postseason win. What did you see out there from your point of view from a linebacker spot to go up against Reamer, to go up against Hovelson? You knew the run was coming. Why did you guys able to do a really good job holding them today on the ground, do you think?
We knew they were going to run the ball a lot and run a lot of ISO, and we practiced all week for it, so we were ready.
When Brady is able to get that block punt to start the game off back in the first quarter, what does that do for you guys on the sidelines and on the field, getting that short position and able to finish with a touchdown?
That's big when you can get stops and get that kind of field position. Makes it a lot easier on the offense to score, so that's big.
And then on the offensive side, able to get that 15-yard screenplay for a touchdown. What do you like more, scoring touchdowns or getting tackled for losses there in the A-gap here?
I like it all. It's all fun.
Final thing for you before we let you go here. Again, Garrett Hebel joining us. What do you want to carry moving forward? You know you're going to have another playoff game here at Towson Field in LaMoure coming up next week. What do you want to carry with you moving forward here, Garrett?
We just got to keep playing hard. We can't take anyone lightly. We just got to keep playing hard and just take it week by week.
Hey, Garrett, thanks so much for your time and best of luck a week from today here in the quarterfinals.
Thank you.
Garrett Hebel with us here from the LaMoure-Litchville Marion as your final 44-0. We'll put a bow on this game and look at some stats when we come back next on your live event.
Honesty, loyalty, integrity. At Bank North, we've remained true to these values for generations. They shape the way we do business, work with customers, and support our communities. We've been here for more than a century, helping people grow farms and businesses, finance homes, and pursue their dreams. It's values-based banking, and it's all about working together to strengthen the common threads that bind us together. Bank North, always true.
The Maple Valley School District is moving forward with the plan to build a new pre-K classroom, community fitness center, and gymnasium with locker rooms. The classroom will provide more space for a growing pre-K program. The fitness center will provide opportunities to benefit all Maple Valley communities, and the gym will allow more opportunities for all activities of the Maple River Co-op. Plus, the plan is to build with no new taxes. Contact the business manager to see how you can help make this a reality today at 701-749-2570.
Let's get to some of the finals in this one here. First things first, let's get to our Enbridge Energy Player of the Game. Enbridge Energy tomorrow is happening right now. More than ever, the world needs safe, secure, sustainable, and affordable sources of energy. Visit tomorrowison.com. That's tomorrowison.com. Enbridge, life takes energy. And I think you got to give a 1A and 1B in this category to Tate Mart. 4 catches, 108 yards, 2 touchdowns for 1 point, but also Brady Lettenmeyer had a very workmanlike game. 28 carries, 119 yards, 2 touchdowns. He gets the block punt as well. So I think that's your 1A, 1B with Mart and Lettenmeyer able to have over 200 yards of total offense here today for LaMoure-Litchville Marion. Those are our Enbridge Energy players of the game for the Lobos. And then on the opposite side, Clay Hovelson has to probably be the guy from the start of the season to the end of the season here for the Maple River Raiders as well. Now let's get to our RDK Enterprises Precision Play of the Game. RDK Enterprises in Hillsboro and Drayton, they thank you and the area growers for your trust in RDK Enterprises as your planter experts. RDK Enterprises continues to invest in the education of their team members and provide the customer service you expect. Call 701-636-2119 or visit planterdoc.com and make sure after you get done harvesting, you check out your planter. And if you want RDK Enterprises, check anything out, they will do so. Our RDK Enterprises Precision Play of the Game, we're going to give it to Tate Martin on 4th down play. That was 62 yards. It changes the landscape. If they don't get it, it's a 1st and 10 Maple River at the Lobos 38-yard line. They get the first down, but much less they get the touchdown on top of it, and that just kind of felt like that was the catalyst. It just kind of, so to speak, was the avalanche that was already starting a little bit here for the Lobos in their 44-0 win. That is, again, our RDK Enterprises Precision Play of the Game. Final numbers here in this one for LaMoure-Litchville Marion, 342 yards of total offense. Anthony Hansen in this contest would finish with 8 of 19 through the air for 3 passing touchdowns and 171 yards. 4 of them went to Tate Mart again in receptions. You had 3 to Garrett Hebel and a score of 57 yards, and Colton Ness 1 catch for 6 yards here today for the Lobos. On the ground, Brady Lettenmeyer, 28 carries, $119 for 2 touchdowns. Anthony Hansen, 8 carries for 29 yards. Hebel, 3 carries for 21, and Tate Mart had 1 for 2 for LaMoure-Litchville. Marion, 0 turnovers, 4 penalties for 25 yards. For the Maple River Raiders, they would finish with 104 yards of total offense, 80 on the ground and 24 through the air. T. Silling went 2 of 4 for 24 yards with 1 interception. Clay Holmes in his final game for the Raiders, 21 carries for 62 yards. Dylan Reamer, 9 carries for 21 yards. You had 1 carry for 4 yards by Dahl, 1 for 1 by Rohrbeck, and 1 for -8 for Calvin Santrum. Wyatt Silling, 1 catch for 28 yards in his final game, and Hovelson, 1 for -4 yards. 1 interception. Tate Mart picked off T. Silling. No penalties, though, here for the Maple River Raiders. So playing their final game here for the Raiders, Dylan Reamer, Liam Satcham, Wyatt Silling, Marty Rohrbeck, and also Clay Hovelson here, the final game here for the Maple River Raiders. LaMoure-Litchville Marion improves to 9-0 on this season now, as they will host a quarterfinal round matchup a week from today here at Towson Field in Lemoore, while for the Maple River Raiders, in their first year in the co-op history, will finish with 6 wins and 4 losses. And again, your final from earlier today, Mayport CG defeats Weimar-Lidgewood. And going on yourliveevent.com right now, it's the Lisbon Broncos and the Hillsborough Central Valley Burros late in the contest. It's HCV leading the Lisbon Broncos by the last check that we saw going on in Hillsborough at 14-8. And it looks like the Hillsborough Central Valley Burros are going to put this game to bed against Lisbon as well. So Lisbon are going to provide a scare to the Burros, but HCV is going to sneak away with the victory. On behalf of everyone behind the scenes, for those here in Lemoore, thank you very much to Coach Larry Fontaine and Andy Delabar joining us on the pregame show. On behalf of Garrett Hebel and alongside Tate Mart joining us on the postgame show, he's Jake Watroba. I'm Chase Miller. Thank you very much for tuning in to high school athletics throughout this season and here today in Lemoore at Townsend Field. Again, your final on our City of Hope scoreboard. It is a 44-0 win for LaMoure-Litchville Marion. The winning streak goes to 21 games. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a great upcoming week here on your live event.